What's up, all you beautiful, valid people out there? How are you all doing today? It is your boy, Jay Wilson, and I am here with my friend and co-host.
Hello, everyone. It's Ariah back again. We're doing more Homestuck.
We're doing more Homestuck, and you're probably wondering, where's the ladies and gentlemen? Well, your boy is kind of really tired of feeling like a shitty person for just saying ladies and gentlemen first, because it makes me feel like I'm heteronormative, but I really don't give a fuck. Not
Jay,
heteronormative, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that ladies and gentlemen are the only two things, and I want people to know that because I'm not a shitty person. I'm not the same person I was whenever I started this YouTube channel. Not saying I was a shitty person then, but I didn't understand it as well.
Little less educated.
I was way less educated.
Yeah.
But now I'm around it all the time, so
I'm proud of you, Jay.
Listen. Go back to our first beginning of this YouTube channel, then come back to here, and those are two completely different motherfuckers. Okay, that guy didn't even know how to talk to a fucking audience. Okay, now I could sit here and talk to an audience for hours and hours and hours on end. I mean, it may not be that entertaining, but I could do it.
This is true.
At least it's better than when I first started, where my voice was like, hey, it was like a really shitty Technoblade.
That's cool.
It was a really shitty Technoblade.
Wow, I loved that.
I made one or two sarcastic, really bad jokes.
Yeah.
I think I said the R slur a couple times, which was bad.
I did too.
Totally. I mean, it you could argue, it was in a reading tense, but it still makes you feel like
an
an
we
ass.
did at the time, but I disagree with that. I mean, I guess we're addressing it here. I commented about it because someone else had talked about it. But I had been. I still have a list. It's been a while since I've been able to watch it, except my life's been chaotic. But I've been rewatching our series and going through and finding all of those places, and then I'm planning on using that data to put some content warnings.
Yeah, I think that's really smart, and I really hate that we were like that when this first started. But honestly,
yeah, I mean, again, less educated. It wasn't that we had any malintent. It was just that we weren't as educated into understanding why they were bad.
Yeah, exactly. I understood they were bad, but I just thought that I could get away with just reading it.
Yeah, people don't like them. They're hurtful. Okay, I don't want to hurt people.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is fine, right? And
yeah, exactly.
It's a bad excuse. And
we definitely take accountability for our actions. Like I said earlier, we're definitely not the same people we were when we first started.
Of course.
Because
here we go. I've gotten through part 35. And I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 instances in the 35 parts of the Arslur.
I was really... we were both...
No, some of them were me. They were a pretty mixed bag.
Yeah, for sure. But it was just not a good situation for anybody back then. Because we felt like we could say things because we were reading it, which it's not. It's like the same as somebody singing a song and thinking they can say the N-word, you know?
Yeah, it's like...
Yes, it gets really dicey at that point.
Yeah, and even we kind of understood that. We're like, oh yeah, it's not as bad as the N-slur, you know? It's like, but...
Yeah, but still, it's still bad.
It's a slur. It's still a word that's demeaning to a group of people.
And we've grown to realize that we can't even read it.
Yeah.
You know?
Any
hurtful word
is a descriptive term of a group of people.
Yeah,
a descriptive term of a group of people that is used primarily as an insult or negatively in the present day or in the recent past is a slur that should not be said.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? In slur, it's referring to a group of people, and also it was used very negatively. Mm-hmm. The R slur, referring to a group of people, and not necessarily negatively against them, but uses it negatively against people in a way that insults people who originally fit into the category of what the R slur originally described, and that's how a lot of same thing with the G slur that described the Romani people.
Oh yeah,
you know that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's all good.
Yeah, it describes the Romani people. It's something that abroad, especially where Romani people was used as a very hateful and derogatory slur against them. If you've ever watched Hunchback of Notre Dame, that movie has that word all over the place, the G slur.
Yeah.
And it's.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yep. And then that movie, it painted them in a very positive context, but that word was used that negatively against those people.
Yeah.
Especially in Europe all the time. In Europe, it's horrible. And the U.S., a lot of people don't know the history behind it and use it to mean different things, like a wandering traitor, or even positive lights in a lot of places in America. But it's still not good because it's painting these people to this specific way of life, and it was used very negatively in history, and it just should be avoided. Things like that,
opinion.
you know.
I'm just glad that we've grown to this point where we can talk about it.
Yeah, agreed.
We've grown a lot. That's the general gist.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a tangent.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Jay changed
it needed to be said.
Agreed. Very important tangent. Anyways, what the fuck happened last time?
So last time was one of my favorite episodes of anything I think we've ever recorded. We had
we're recording this the same day so that we still remember everything, so that's good.
Yeah, so this time you don't have to worry about, oh my god, it's been 8 years since the last time that he's recorded. Listen, my voice will be a lot deeper, and hopefully I'd have a lot more bitches by that point. Listen, sorry, women. As we were talking about using words,
Yeah, bitch isn't a slur, it's fine.
Listen. We can say whatever we want as long as it's not a slur. Bitch, motherfucker,
Anyways.
ass, damn. We could go on.
Anyways, yeah, so, two highlights of last time. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff.
We realized,
two highlights.
First off, we got to see the entire fight with Lord English, with Dave Pettis squared, my favorite character.
So epic, and Dave Pettis squared is fantastic. They're so good. I love them so much.
We love Dave Pettis Sprite.
And that plus the thing that happened at the end of the last page that boils into, or the thing that happened the end of the 2 pages ago that boiled in the last page that boils into this page, and that is why the text is orange.
Yeah.
Dirk kind of like...
Dirk has
hijacked the narrative
and realized, from the way they were describing it, was as if they'd always been describing the narrative.
Yeah, it seems like Dirk was always telling the story, at least in Meat.
And we just cut. And
there's a little,
but he came out in his sense.
Yeah, he just revealed himself, which is interesting. It looks like from the beginning of this page that John is questioning what's going on. Anyways, are you ready to jump into it?
I am so excited. And from here on out, so people don't get confused, since this is Dirk, your boy is going to be taking over the narrative until it goes back to black or whatever happened.
Yeah, you are orange text.
Jay Wilson has the orange text. Anyway, you wake up.
What?
You open your eyes. Actually, you're not sure they're open. Everything is intolerably bright. It was inside the juju, but worse. Like, it was inside the juju, but worse. Did you go blind? Are you dead? Is your ghost dead? You spend a couple seconds filing through miserable worst-case scenarios, but then you see your own blood floating around you in a nimbus of shiny top bubbles. You reach out to touch one and it bursts around your finger. Dude, imagine that, like, being in space and bleeding and watching it all. Dude, I feel like that'd be so cool, but also so gross in another way.
Yeah.
You finally process the truth.
Scary.
It would be terrifying because you realize, wait a minute, I've been bleeding out. But also, oh my god, look at the lack of gravity. You finally process the true magnitude of what has happened. The furthest ring has been completely destroyed, and you're all alone. That's so depressing. Everything hits you all at once. The light, your memories of the battle, the untethered sensation of weightlessness. It's a hammer stroke that hits you in the center of the head. It splits like rivers through your gray matter. That pain and disorientation goes all the way down your throat. You double over and, well, you're vomiting up everything in your stomach. Rest assured, it's pretty gross. I don't think anyone needs an explicit account of the way you're disgorging your entire gut in zero gravity or the way it's coating your entire torso in puke. From your long blue hood to your silly yellow slip-ons, you seriously need to get it together. You look like an absolute shit right now, my man. In fact, you should really strongly consider issuing an apology for the mess you're making.
I'm sorry. Or I suppose I'm sorry.
John's so fucking confused.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to, dude? Nobody's around for miles. Everyone's dead. Well, almost everyone, but certainly the vast majority of what it qualifies as everyone in your current frame of reference. Every single person and every single thing nearly literally has been sucked into that monstrous black hole up there, including every single fragment of black, empty space that used to provide the canvas for this bleak continuum, and most of your friends, Rose Dave, Absurd Cat Dave, and hundreds of ghosts who all valiantly contributed to a victory which you're only now beginning to question the functional necessity of.
Functional necessity? That doesn't sound like something I would think.
That's because it's not.
What the fuck?
You finally notice. No, not me. You go back to ignoring the fact that I'm the voice in your head. You notice how it hurts when you breathe. Suddenly you remember, Lord English's tooth is still embedded in your chest. You panic, wrap your hands around the base, and give it a little tug. It's excruciating. The tooth makes an awful grating sound as it grinds along one of your ribs. You gasp and lose your grip, biting the inside of your mouth so hard that you taste blood. Can't blame you for trying, but I wouldn't do that if I were you. Without someone to administer proper medical care, you'll bleed to death pretty much instantly. On the other hand, the tooth is poisoned, so you're pretty much fucked either way. And that's really all there is to say on the matter. You sigh in painful resignation and and wonder what to do next. English is dead, so you suppose you can go home, right? It's tempting. You consider zapping back to Earthsea, being done with the nightmare for good, and never breathing a word of it to anyone ever again. But you can't yet, can you? Why not, you wonder? What's the harm? You're right. It would probably be a harmless decision in the grand scheme of things, certainly the easiest thing to do, but what about your friends? You saw Rose and Dave die with your own eyes. Saw countless ghosts getting swallowed whole by a voracious singularity. How about Jade, though? She could still be out there somewhere, injured, alone, scared. And it's your fault, isn't it?
She's totally like the Jade that Calliope is. Because they described her as a younger Jade, like a teen Jade, you know. That was Calliope and Candy. So it's totally this Jade.
Mm-hmm.
It's all my fault.
I love the fact that John's finally done being confused and being like, shit!
Yeah.
Or he's probably going to stay confused, to be honest. You decide that no matter how terrible you feel, you should look around first before you leave. You're the one who dragged her here. You owe her at least that much. Plus, there's someone else on your mind, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
You proceed to wander for a long fucking time. Wait a minute. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Terezi, motherfucker.
Terezi. Holy shit, you're right. Terezi's here somewhere. Or it might be here somewhere.
You proceed to wander for a long fucking time. Time passes differently here than it doesn't for everyone else. Here, I'll simulate it for you. I just left to go take a piss. Then I microwaved myself a hot pocket. Yo, I did that just a minute ago. Then I came back. In the time it took me to do that, you just spent hours drifting around the entire circumference of the black hole, thinking sad sack thoughts about the years of inaction that led you to this point, intermittently humming the Ghostbusters theme to yourself. Listen. I can't remember what it is, but Super Ghostbusters, straight fire. Can we talk about that for a second? The Battery Man taught me about the ways of Super Ghostbusters, and it is beautiful. And anyone who hasn't listened to it needs to sit there and listen to the entire thing straight through.
Yes. I second that. But
it's like 12 hours, but listen. It's good to listen to while you're working.
Hell yeah.
You get so worked up about one of your GB freestyles that you almost miss it. There, 11 o'clock. Do you see it? It's that tiny dot floating over there. Huh? Oh, sorry. Scramble to catch it before it drifts any closer to the event horizon. Got it. What the hell? Feels familiar, but you want to make sure you're not imagining it. A wallet? Your dad's wallet? Yo, I couldn't imagine having any of my dad's stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You chew your lip and press your fingers into the soft leather. Yo, that's like for the first time in like 4 hours I've made a not having a dad joke. Space is an infinitely large expanse, and a wallet is tiny, insignificant object. Sure, there have been crazier coincidences in the course of this wacky adventure you've been having for the past 10 years. But this one feels very precisely aimed at your heart. Take a deep breath, unfold the wallet, and open it.
Oh my gosh. And then we cut away.
Anyway, back to the B plot. Right about now. The B plot. I love how self-aware this shit is.
I love it.
Right about now, Jade should be wrapping up her political presentation to Roxy and Calliope. Oh, I was about to say Calliope, but we were arguing about Maury Calliope, not like this Calliope. God, it's so fucking confusing having the same word being spelled like being pronounced like 20 different ways, using a lot more graphs and far fewer words than Dave did when roping her into this election. Her approach is definitely more heady, but it's also more accessible. Jade's got this disarming combo of head in the clouds flightiness and the kind of legit down-to-earth cred that only can be earned by having done something like cutting open your own grandfather and stuffing him full of foam.
Yep. So you see Jane's neoliberal austerity measures.
So John can hear it, but they can't.
John... yes, because this is third person and John was you. You know, like they said.
Yeah, that's John. A good point. Roxy groaned upon hearing the phrase neoliberal austerity measures for no less than the third time in this presentation.
As I outlined here in graph B2, and here in figure A6, and here in this very spooky drawing I dictated to Callie. Great drawing, by the way. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do a British...
It will no doubt lead to a whole bunch of ugly societal backlashes. Not just in economic terms, but on a number of other more serious vertices that we've been lucky enough to avoid on New Earth so far. Want to be Roxy?
Sure. You don't say.
I do say. The thing is that Jane is an established leader. She's looking at doing things the way our old universes did them. She's pretty convinced that she's going to be able to replicate the capitalist hierarchies that Earth had, but in a more responsible way. But none of that stuff actually worked.
And you think Karkat can do better?
I think it's worth it to give him a chance. He's a leader of the people, and he's experienced firsthand what happens when establishment goes too far, which I imagine you can sympathize with.
Jade takes a deep breath, panting a little. Her graphs are floating around the living room in a disarray. She spins them around her, gliding her hands through the air like a conductor before folding the pages together and shrinking them to pocket size.
And that's my pitch.
Roxy and Calliope exchange a look. Jesus Christ, I'm going to have a stroke.
Would you like to be Calliope, or would you like me to be Calliope?
No, you can take Calliope. I'm going to be reading a lot with narrative.
I'm going to get us tea and snacks. Would you like some, Jade? God, I'm so bad at that. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, sure. Any preferences? Pumpkin matcha if you have it. Of course, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I can't.
Fucking pumpkin stuff is whack.
Of course, I'll be right back. That's better, but...
Yeah, that's a bit better. Don't really worry. I mean, I don't think people are going to sit there in the comments roasting us, but now that I've said that, they're going to sit in the comments roasting us.
I feel like I used to be better at Calliope. I mean, I was never good, but I feel like I used to be better.
I remember you did Calliope more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was more your thing. I think I did it, like, a couple times.
Yeah, especially Leon.
Yeah, exactly. Alright. Anyway, pumpkin tasting stuff seems whack. Like, I like pumpkin pie, but I've never had, like, pumpkin tasting, like, tea or coffee or any of that shit.
Yeah, I haven't either, because most pumpkin spice flavored things have dairy in them, so I've not tried them, but...
Yo, imagine being a vegan.
I've tried a pumpkin cheesecake. That was really good, like a vegan pumpkin cheesecake.
I keep forgetting you're a vegan.
This brand of cheesecake is a kind that is very good.
Cheesecake is fucking fire. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say about it.
Agreed.
God, I love that so much.
I've been told that this vegan cheesecake tastes very good, even to people who aren't vegan.
I'd love to try it whenever I come up there.
Hell yeah.
There's gonna be so many things that I try. I'm gonna have to actually go to Starbucks, not try the fucking gas station shit. Because I'm sure those things taste completely different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Orange text.
Orange text! Calliope excuses herself from the conversation and flees to the kitchen, seemingly making no attempt to disguise the fact that she in fact fleeing. Jade deflates as she watches her go, sensing that her presentation wasn't the slam dunk she was hoping for.
So, what do you think?
Well, I gotta say, this has been a hella convincing argument all in all, but I don't know if I can help you out.
What? Why not?
That's so Roxy. It's like, yeah, that was pretty cool and all, but...
I don't really care.
I just realized that I just don't give a flying fuck about any of it, so... Roxy presses her lips together and bounces her palms on her knees. Her gaze slides east right out the window. She and Calliope live in a belfry above New Prospect. One end of their living room is an oriel window that looks out over a public park. The other disappears into an arcading hallway lit at the far end by a giant stained glass window that Calliope made herself. The corbels supporting it have windy, abstract shapes carved into them. This room reminds Jade of her childhood home, except that it's bright and warm and not inhabited in all corners by corpses and ghosts. Yeah, that does make it a little bit better. That's why she can't settle down. That's what keeps Jade Harley flitting from couch to couch, relationship to relationship. She can't stop thinking to herself, that home comes awfully close to rhyming with alone.
Okay.
Fucking alone. Home and... not really. So that's the excuse that she's using to constantly be bouncing around and fucking up people's relationships and stuff?
I guess.
I don't feel like that's valid. Well,
Jade.
I'm not. Well, I think I could say that since it's a fictional character too. I don't find that like a very valid excuse, you know.
Me neither.
Like, I understand being alone makes it so you get kind of like. I'd understand if she was a little bit more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like clingy, because of that. But it's less clingy and she's more just like takes over things, you know. Like, she does the idealized version of it rather than what actually should happen, you know? Anyway. Home is John, who doesn't call anymore. Home is when Rose and Kanaya welcome her in from a cold night and help her set lyrics to her sick bass lines. Home is here, snorting at Roxy's irreverent method of storytelling and admiring Callie's art. Home is Dave and Karkat, especially Dave and Karkat. Jade knows that this selection is important for a number of reasons, but let's not mistake her enthusiasm for some kind of humanistic altruism. Girl's got a personal reason for doing all this.
Of course.
Jade drifts down to sit cross-legged on the couch beside Roxy. She stares at her with a doggish expression, eyes wide, head lolling to the side until she gets an answer. I just don't really care about politics that much, I guess. Roxy turns to face Jade again, smiling apologetically. Also, this election is all kinds of personal. I mean, if I came into your house and asked you to make some grand political whatever against your BFF, would you be all, oh yeah, Toad, sign me the fuck up? I'm all is about the sowing of discord among my childhood friends.
Let me guess, Dirk got to you first.
Not even. I got no problem telling Dirk where to stick it, Lamau, but Dirk's not the one running.
You think he's not the one pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Sure, but give Janie a little credit. She's got more moxie and ambition in her pinky than the rest of us all got together. She's been planning this for years, but she's, you know...
Ruthless?
I hear the you know, and like I instantly think about the wrist. But
oh
she's,
God.
You know...
Oh, God.
Sorry, a buddy of mine has like a hat, and it's literally just the wrist on it with a you know, and it's so funny watching like because like I know people who are like homophobic and they don't even realize what that means, and it's so funny whenever my friend wears that hat. It's so funny. I mean, it's so good.
It's amazing.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Whenever I read, I like tangenting a little bit, not too much to where it gets
agreed.
off.
I think that adds us to it, because otherwise it's just us reading a book.
Exactly.
Instead of an audiobook, it needs to be we're reading it and talking about it.
Exactly. It's commentary.
Yeah, it's commentary.
I'm about to make a commentary video.
Definitely, we probably shouldn't tangent for 30 minutes.
No,
but
yeah, obviously. But
small tangents are totally welcome. Don't apologize.
All right, cool. Roxy frowns. Jay's being pretty unfair. What the fuck does fragile No, fragile. She's putting emphasis. She's putting emphasis
instead of
on
ruthless.
It. I thought that was
fragile.
I thought that was like a sound effect. I was like, how the fuck do I make that? Do I smash glass? She's got to be Miss Perfect all the time for the billboards and press meetings. Always wearing those power suits, trying to look like a big bad bitch.
Fragile is the onomatopoeia for glass breaking.
I think so.
Fragile. Oh, did glass just break? Where?
Listen, okay, that's the first thing that's fragile that I can think of. What would you rather say, my heart?
You mean the Condis?
Wow, ouch.
I'm not just imagining it though, right? You see it too. Not to judge up something horrible from your history, but her whole image is just kind of woof.
Is that what you guys think?
Get it? Because Jade's a dog person? Ha ha.
I hate these jokes. I want to quit, you know? I'd be okay if I never had to hear one of those jokes ever again.
Jade has a good point, though, here, about, Jane, Jane
well,
being
Jane
a crocker.
does become the Condis at a certain point.
Yeah, literally is the heiress.
And literally becomes it within the Candy storyline.
Yeah, and headed towards it in this one, because it's the same origin.
Exactly.
So she's got a point.
Is that what you guys think? You and Dave and Karkat?
Well, yeah.
Roxy leans forward and stares Jade down. Jade, Jesus. She's searching for something behind Jade's eyes. Jade unwittingly responds in kind, looking for meaning behind Roxy's gaze, but she comes up empty, to be honest. So do I. In the spirit of full disclosure, Roxy's the only one left I haven't been able to crack. Her mind remains a total enigma to me, just like it always has. Do you remember the weird time when she was, like, obsessed with... Was she obsessed with Dirk? She was obsessed with Dirk for a little bit. Because there were only 2 kids left alive. Which was kind of whack in the grand scheme of things. Sorry, I was just thinking about Homestuck. That was so long ago.
No, yeah, I mean... Yeah, Roxy was obsessed with Dirk for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I apologize. A fire alarm, not fire alarm, but the smoke detector went off. But it's fine now.
Do you need to go or anything?
No, it already turned off, so someone already got it, I suppose. But
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's why I was distracted for a second. My bad.
No, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, in the spirit, if I had to guess, it's her void powers. Yo, I also have void powers. That's crazy. They make her invisible. Even to increasingly omniscient parties such as myself. For all intents and purposes, it's like her thoughts don't exist. She's the same person as far as I can tell. She still wears her heart on her sleeve, but the bottom line remains. Roxy Lalonde is still utterly fucking inscrutable. Well, Jane's not perfect. Roxy shrugs and runs a hand through her hair. Yo, I do that too. We were just talking about that. Which been
anxiety.
Yo, high
Any
five.
Form of anxiety, be
anxiety,
it mild,
high five.
Mild nervousness and.
Yeah. Top of the morning. Sorry. Happy Wheels, which has been recently cut short.
Happy Wheels.
One of these days, can we make a Happy Wheels video?
Yes. Jay, I've never played Happy Wheels.
Wait.
I've seen some of Jack's videos, but I've never played it myself.
Hold up. Press pause, rewind, press play again.
I've seen Jack's videos of Happy Wheels, but I have not played it myself.
You've never played Happy Wheels?
No.
That's so sad.
Maybe we'll do one up.
Well, Jane's not perfect. And I don't know if she'll be a good president, but she's not Betty Crocker. And I love her, and I don't want to hurt her feelings. That's pretty much all there is to say on the matter. Calliope returns to the kitchen with 3 cups, a handmade teapot, and some candled cakes. Candy candles.
Candled cake.
You stick candy over a candle and just let it like burn. That's pretty much candling it.
They have been candled.
Jade finally relents.
Fine, I understand. Callie, what about you?
Calliope's not going to be into this idea. Calliope sets down the snacks and brushes Jane's skirt aside so she can sit down. She puts a claw up to her mouth and makes a facial expression more complicated than you think a skull would be capable of.
Oh, I'd rather stay uninvolved, thank you. Aww. I feel like interfering in both politics and personal argument between my friends would be impolite as well as kind of stressful, to be honest. Yeah, sorry, Callie. I probably shouldn't have put all that on you. Less apologizing, more snacking.
I love Calliope so much.
Me too.
And that was way closer to the voice that you used to use a lot.
Yeah. Cool.
So see, there's always a way to get better. Anyhow. I said anyhow for the first time in a long time. Anyhow. What the fuck just happened? Sometimes I swear I regress whenever we start talking, you know? It's not in a bad way, it's just regressing back into what I was whenever we were recording consistently. It was a sarcastic, sick son of a bitch. Dude, what the fuck happens at night? Sorry. I am not meaning to keep doing these tangent things. But you look outside and it's what, 9:16? I look outside and it's bright. It's not bright in the sense that the sun's out, but bright in the sense that there's a white sky up, so you can see everything pretty well. And it freaks me out every time.
Oh gosh.
Have you ever had that happen where you look outside and it's more of a white sky and it's just bright enough to where you can see everything?
Yeah, it's the bright, cloudy, usually snowy, reflects white in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you feel like you're living in a horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one who experiences that. Because I remember a bunch of times, whenever we used to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning talking, that would be that would happen. It would always freak me out.
Oh,
Still
for sure.
does. Because I remember my desk was sitting all the way across the room over there. God, everything's changed since then. I have no hair anymore. Well, I still have hair, but you know what I mean.
Compared
to how much I used to. I cringe whenever I see pictures of me with long hair. I don't know what it is. I don't even think it looked that bad to people, but to me, it looks so bad. Anyway, I don't know. You just do what you gotta do to make yourself feel better. Calliope claps her hands together in her bright noise. Her tone of voice is bright, too. All these years, and she still can't believe that she has so many friends. Aw, she smiles at Jade, and Jade smiles back. The tea tastes great. The cakes are even better. Callie's an artist and everything. I love it!
Wow, Callie, you're just an amazing hostess.
Wholesome.
Roxy, you're so lucky to have her.
I love it. Roxy giggles awkwardly. She gives Jade a gentle jostle, an elbow to the ribs, and lowers her voice. Psst, not her. Them.
Oh boy. This is a development that I assume that the narrative didn't even address. Interesting. The narrative... Okay. Oh.
I didn't realize that they changed that. I thought it was her from the comic.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the comic. Like, it was her before this.
So I guess they just changed it.
Yeah, I guess they changed it, which is valid.
Yeah, that's 100%.
But
I'm not complaining. I
was noting that the narrative uses her as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But maybe that's just to show that Dirk is secretly a... No, I don't. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
No, maybe Dirk just doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But in any case...
He's the one explaining it, so he should know.
I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. I haven't given it that much thought, so I'm still where I am. Anyway, Jade tenses up and pales, turns a wide-eyed look to Calliope, who's still smiling politely. She realizes a bit too late the profoundly insensitive nature of her social misstep.
Oh!
She grabs one of Calliope's hands. I hate when I do that by accident, when I accidentally use the wrong one.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be culturally insensitive. Have I just been stupidly calling you a girl for years, like a big fat... Oh, no, I'm such an asshole. You are absolutely not an asshole. I don't mind being called a girl. I still don't really mind. It's just not exactly accurate. But I did take comfort in being a girl for a very long time. This is something I've only recently decided.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say, within the narrative and throughout all of Homestuck proper, it was always that. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't just completely remembering wrong. Because honestly, I wouldn't put it past myself. Anyway, Roxy pauses even though the low of her voice makes the sentence sound of a finish. She stutters the next part out. Me too, actually.
Aww.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo, that's sick!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are both a they household now. Package deal thing. Things are non-binary as fuck around here. Wait. What?
And then Dirk is confused because he said that, Roxy was a Void player and therefore he could never figure anything, could never...
And he's just going, wait, what?
What's the word? Never really understand them.
Mm-hmm. I just love how confused he is even in the fucking narrative. It's like, wait.
Really?
Yep. Well, I mean, that's probably a dumb and bad way to say it. Don't tell anyone to say it with that way, Rafflecopter, sorry. But yeah, that's what's going on. Roxy, seriously? Like I said, fucking inscrutable. I never would have guessed. Not that I've spent that much time contemplating issues related to gender. I'm pretty secure in my expressions of masculinity, and you know what? Fuck this. That's exactly my opinion. This motherfucker just stole what I was thinking just a minute ago. I don't owe anyone an explanation of any sort on this topic. I'm confident with who I am, what I am, my gender, as well as my understanding of the concept. You want my honest opinion? It's fucking fantastic. Good for them. Both of them, I mean. But also, both of them in a singular fashion, since each one now individually be referred to by the conventionally plural word them. I'm ecstatic for this personal development they've embraced for the people they are, the lack of gender they identify with, the pronouns they prefer. I've got no problem with it whatsoever, and frankly, it's fucking insulting anyone would ever imagine otherwise. So yeah, I'm gonna allow it. Carry on. Did he just say I'm gonna allow it?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's kind of controlling the narrative.
Yeah, I just love. He's
like, yeah, fine, whatever.
I'm glad that he put into words what I've always tried to explain to people.
I love this because,
because that's always what I mean to say, but I never feel like I come off the right way when I say.
This reminds me of She-Ra. Did you ever finish She-Ra?
Finish what?
She-Ra.
What's She-Ra?
Oh, it's a show. Okay, it's a very gay show. It's fantastic.
Sheesh.
But She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. But without spoiling much, there is a non-binary character in that show that uses they/them pronouns and is a villain, but everybody in the show respects their pronouns anyways. And it's like, it's, you know, kind of a world. There's no homophobia, there's no transphobia or anything like that in this world. Mm-hmm. It's, you know, it's just kind of happy. But it's like, you know, so it's like, you know, like people are people, you know, and regardless of if you're good or evil, bad guy, good guy, you know, like Dirk is clearly a bad guy in this context, right?
Yeah.
But like, he's gonna respect their pronouns because, like, why not? You know, like, there's no, like, it's just a fucking like decent thing to do.
I hate that people have to think about it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I find that so shitty that like certain people can't respect that sort of stuff. Like, what's the point?
I know, it's stupid. It's like they go out of their way, you know.
Yeah,
and it's so many double standards about it. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. I'm glad we're in an agreement at this point. Fuck people who don't respect other people. That's the general gist, always. And I'm really glad that I'm of that mindset. You know, like, I always thought that.
Yeah.
But I was a lot less educated on it and didn't understand it nearly as well. But I've definitely worked to educate myself a lot better on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay Wilson is woke now. Is that the right word? I don't even fucking know.
I don't know either, to be honest. I have no idea if woke is a good thing to say or a bad
That's what I was about to say.
Can't tell.
I don't know. Jay Wilson is the non-toxic way of saying woke. Because I don't know. Even if there is no bad context, I want to keep myself in the clear, you know? Yes. I just got myself uncanceled. I don't want to go back.
To be honest, like, I don't know anything about, like, quote-unquote woke culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, like, how that's used on Twitter or those kind of, like, online places. I don't go to those online spaces, so I don't really know how that works.
I need to start using Twitter again.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I use Twitter for two things, and that is to follow certain creators I like, and also occasionally for various, like, big trending events that happen. Like, sometimes I just glance at the trending taskbar, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, the issue is just it's such a toxic community sometimes.
Or if there's I don't care about the community of Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's, you know, I don't really know what's going on in a lot of those spaces. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I recently it wasn't even that recently. It's been like 8 months since I've started using TikTok, and I feel like I just got into a whole different space.
Well, yeah, the thing with TikTok is, like, I use TikTok, and I still don't know anything about TikTok, like, community, because I'm not in 90% of the TikTok communities. You know,
I've been in nothing but Andrew Garfield TikTok lately.
See?
He's so beautiful.
Like, yeah, no, I watch a lot of queer TikTok as well as a lot of jokes. Like, I watch a lot of, like, puns, which it keeps recommending to me.
I just love that it's been, like, a lot of Marvel stuff. It picks up on what you like, and it puts you in a little niche bubble, which is good, rather than having you on the grand scheme.
Yeah.
Like, quote...
And occasionally things will bleed over that you don't like, and you're like, okay, just scroll past it.
But, yeah, exactly.
But most of the time, it's very good, especially after you started using it for a while. Yeah. It's very good, and it'll actually only recommend things that you enjoy, which is fantastic. The TikTok algorithm is fantastic.
It is amazing. I'd love to study it more, just, like, because I'm finding it interesting how you can get an algorithm to work that well. Because no other social media algorithm works that well. Not YouTube, not any of it, really. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I don't know. I'm not a big math guy, but I find the algorithm kind of interesting. And especially because I feel like I'm going to be creative on some level. Definitely a good idea to look at it all.
Hell yeah. I would love to study it with you someday. That would be fun.
That would be really fun. We could chart our way to famousness.
Hell yeah.
That's how you do it. You study the algorithm. That's what Dream did, but we kind of... Dream's whack. He's not a bad person. Stand Dream. He's just whack.
Yeah. He's not a bad... Like, he clearly, like, doesn't... It, like, isn't evil. You know, he's not a bad guy.
I'm tired of hearing people saying he's evil, but I'm not saying that he's, like, the best thing to ever grace the earth either.
He's just
he's just
kind of a... I don't know.
I don't feel like he deserved to get Creator of the Year, but that's kind of a controversial take.
Yeah. I wouldn't be friends with him. I don't like his content. I don't like his...
I find the way that he plays certain things kind of interesting. Like, I like this... I like watching Manhunt because I just like the plays that he makes because they seem like, you're not supposed to be able to do that sort of stuff.
The only content that I've watched of Dreams that I like is the Dream SMP.
Yeah.
But, like, that's because the Dream is evil. That's because Dream is evil.
Yeah. Like, his character is great. I don't know. I haven't touched the Dream SMP
and the part that I like about the Dream SMP is like the other characters.
Like, there's so much to look at there rather than just him, you know.
And then Dream, I kind of get to project my like dislike of Dream onto his character, you know, like I dislike the character as well, which makes me like justify the fact that it's Dream.
Yeah.
To myself, which is probably not a good thing to do because I don't like Dream and I want to support Dream. I don't want to support Dream at all. But like the main reason I watch Dream SMP or you know videos about it or the creators from it is because I like those creators. You know?
There's so many other people that I don't know. I don't have an immense dislike for him, but he's
Dream
not my
being on like evil and on the side and being against everybody else, like just kind of like helps justify it to me, even though I don't like Dream and don't like his content other than
Ariah, this is gonna be really awkward when we meet Dream.
Oh my god. Tune in next week when Dream's on our podcast.
Dude, keep yourself like that's the thing, is that if we don't manifest this shit, it'll never happen, you know? Like one day we're gonna go all the way over to the UK and meet all those creators, and it's gonna be the coolest thing in the entire world.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna get to fly out on the dime of our channel's budget.
Video.
It'll be our channel's budget.
Anyways, Roxy.
Anyway, sorry, we are built on tangents, to be honest. But
that's a good tangent, but we should stop. We should cut it off.
Yeah, exactly. How many times do I have to say podcast, man? That's all I'm saying.
We should.
Anyway. Wow, that felt good to say out aloud, man. Hell of a way to come out.
It's okay. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I know.
But I am curious. If you need to talk about it, I mean...
Maybe. Callie and I have been talking about it a lot, unpacking all kinds of baggage with their alien stuff and my human stuff. And so I got to thinking, what even is gender? Am I right, lol?
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense, I guess.
I don't know. I don't think about it that much. I know a lot of people put a lot of stake into it, but it just... Like, I'm more of a Dirk thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where, you know, one of the things that a lot of people say to eggs, you know, people who are like thinking about like transgender, you know, stuff and questioning their gender. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Who are known as eggs, like colloquially, right?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and like one of the things that people say to them to kind of like help crack their egg is cis people don't question their gender.
Yeah, I'm cis because I don't question it. I've never looked at myself and like...
They don't have a reason to. If you question your gender, then there's a very high probability that you are not cis.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a buddy of mine, I was talking to them, and they were like, have you ever thought about not having your genitalia? And I was like, no, that's never, like, come up to me before. And they're like, yeah, I thought that was a normal thought. No, yep.
Mood.
You know, I mean, and no judgment or anything. I just found it interesting. Like, just the perspective of it all, you know?
No, yeah, I'm the same way. That's a lot of things. A lot of things are like, oh, I thought that was normal. And nope, it's not normal. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Wait, you mean it's not normal to want to, like, become the other gender? Like, the other, like, binary gender?
Yeah, it's like me with my ADHD. Like, I talk to people without ADHD and they get really confused.
Yeah. Like, speaking from my experiences, like... Wait, you mean it's not normal to think that it's just that girls are lucky for being girls and nobody can possibly like being a guy? Wait, that's not normal?
Wait, not everybody wants titties? I'm confused. Well, I mean, I want titties, but in a different way, you know. Listen, ladies who are over 18, ladies.
By the way, I have an appointment for HRT in June.
Yo, that's sick.
Which is fantastic. They're like, I say June was the earliest they had available.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, but I have an appointment for it. I'm so excited. Estrogen and such.
That's gonna be so cool.
I'm very excited.
That is so cool. I love that. I'm excited for you.
Hey, thank you.
Anyways, back to the story. Dude,
back to the story.
If we keep doing this, we're never going to get done. Jade looks at where her hands are folded in her lap, bites her lip. She has her own concerns about this, her own thoughts, reasonable thoughts, I'd say. But I'll refrain from any further comment. I'm staying away from this subject from now on.
So you're not doing gender anymore?
Yeah, I guess not, Limfao. I mean, that was all stuff from our old universe. Why did we even bring it here, right?
Right.
Calliope takes a tea cake between two of her claws and eats it delicately, hyper-aware of the horrible gnashing and snapping her powerful jaw is capable of.
My ideas about
Shit! Between two of their claws.
Dirk misgendered them.
They take a tea cake between two of their claws and eats it delicately. Sorry, my bad.
He's trying.
I love it.
It's okay.
That reminds me of me.
It's okay, you just learned this like 2 minutes ago.
It reminds me of me, for sure.
Yeah. It takes some time to adjust to new sets of pronouns for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've had multiple friends, like, I've had to change the pronouns on them. And I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that, like, I'm high and mighty for wanting to respect that, because that's just basic, you know.
Of course.
But, you know, like, I just know the struggle. And it's not even that much of a struggle, but you know what I mean. I'm not meaning to come off like an asshole, man. Don't hate me, please.
We're entirely influenced by my time watching Earth. I suppose I only thought of myself as a girl because my brother took masculinity quite seriously, by which I mean he was very enthusiastic about all the things it supposedly meant to be a boy. Shared existence is dichotomous, but not in the same way human biology is. I suppose our view of human culture indirectly influenced Altonia's development, which in turn affected yours, which is something I've had a lot of time to think about since we came here. It's also very circuitous and arbitrary.
It is bizarre to think about how Calliope is so not gendered, and you can just tell Lord English just wanted to be the biggest macho man ever.
Yeah, well, because you know they're both basically they shared the same body, for God's sake.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, their bodies was practically identical.
Exactly.
Once they separated all that. So yeah, there's you know, it was just the dichotomy, and it was the gender roles emerged based on the view of Earth.
The word dichotomy is so cool.
Yeah, I love the word dichotomy.
I was thinking about some song. It's my dichotomy. No, it's the Nice Guy Ballad by Wilbur Soot. That's where I've heard. I learned that on my guitar. It's a really offensive song. Just for one line specifically. But like, I mean, but it's still a good song.
Mm-hmm.
You just I'm glad that whenever he performs it now, he keeps out the one line. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you think about it, so much of that Earthsea thinks what boys and girls should do comes straight from the imagination of a bunch of dumb teens, which is totally fucked.
Sure.
I love Roxy. Jade nods quite thoughtfully. She'd be a doggy fucking uncle. A doggy's fucking uncle. Okay, relax. She wasn't gonna come across woke as hell about all this. See, woke. How does that work? Truthfully, though, it was making sense to her. Eye-opening, really. Why didn't anyone told her this was even an option when she was younger? She probably would have loved being a they when she was a teen.
Oh, Jade. This is a problem, kind of.
Yeah. Whenever you see other people doing it, and then you think that they...
there's a possibility that this is valid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, anything's valid.
But sometimes they kind of just get, like... What's the word?
But like in this case, Jade is justifying it the wrong way and being like, oh yeah, you know, when I was younger, I probably would have loved that too. It's like, it's like, that's the kind of problem that I said, and that is an argument that a lot of transphobes use.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no good way to talk about this sort of stuff.
Yeah. And this argument a lot of transphobes use is the idea of a trender is the word they've coined for it.
And that's complete and utter bullshit.
And it's bullshit. I mean, well, the thing is detransitions do happen, right? That's something that, you know, as a person in the queer community and the trans community, I have to acknowledge this, that yes, people do transition too soon and don't actually feel that way, and it's like a different problem that they have. And then detransition. This happens. But the percentage, if you actually look at the statistics, is like 0.1%.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very niche.
It's so incredibly small that any damage done by that is by no means like and I'm not going to say justified, because you know it's damage and it's unfortunate. However, trying to solve that by taking access away from thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people who could really use those resources is not the solution.
I second that.
Then you just have more people in a problematic state. So yeah, there's a problem we should address, and I think there is a problem with certain therapists and people who are very quick to be like, oh yeah, let's transition you as soon as possible. There should be a very scrutinous process that is accessible to everyone, and good therapies, good resources to talk with, and actually figure out if this is a decision that's right for you.
Exactly.
Because for example, I've watched a few I've watched 2 different detransitioners on YouTube who have channels and talk about it. And they're not transphobic by any means. Like one transgender YouTuber I watch actually interviewed one of them, and they talked about it a lot. Not transphobic. She just realized it wasn't right for her, and that's totally fine. And she talks about how when she was first talking about it, her therapist and that she went to talk to was like, yeah, great, let's do this and this and this, and didn't even try to talk through about it, and didn't even
there should be
make sure that's accurate, or that's what she wants, and just kind of pushed the testosterone and the transition through, which is problematic, and it's just as problematic as people who say no access to that stuff, who want to take that away. So there is an issue there that needs to be solved, but by no means by no means should that be solved by taking away
for sure
trans people's rights.
I just know that I definitely had a thing where whenever everybody within my circle was starting to they were either realizing that they had different sexual preferences, or that they weren't the gender that they were assigned, and I was like I had a split second where I was thinking about it, am I just maybe, but it was very split second,
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing where you don't really care about your gender that much, and you are confident.
And I just thought about it because everyone else was thinking about it, and sometimes that happens where everyone in your life is thinking a certain thing, and you feel weird for not thinking that same thing, so you start to think about it.
Yeah, and here's my take, right? Mm-hmm. My take is most people aren't fully cis. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people who are closer to the agender side of things. Mm-hmm. Because it's it's a whole spectrum, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, sure, I'm a guy, but I don't really care that much, no. Mm-hmm. And same thing with girls, or yeah, I'm a girl, I don't really care that much. Mm-hmm. People who those 2 I use specifically as examples because those are the ones that people are assigned at birth. It's like they were given this at birth, and now they're just kind of rolling with it. They don't care that much, and that is a form of being agender. That's not fully cis. It's still somewhat cis because you identify with the gender that you were given at birth. Of course, it's cis. But what I mean is, not everybody cares intensely about their gender. Which we attribute to a cis, to a classic cis person, or even a trans person. It's these people care about the gender, and that's why that's why they're doing something about it or not doing something about it. But there's also a vast majority of people who don't care, or care very little, and are just kind of rolling with what they're born with, and that's totally valid as well.
For sure.
There's no reason they're like, well, it's more trouble. I wouldn't necessarily get anything about out of trans this. This is not me. This is some other person. It's I wouldn't necessarily get anything about transitioning. I wouldn't hate it, but at the same time, it would just be it would not change me at all. So I don't really need to. Yeah. And also it's a lot of trouble, so I'm just gonna stay the way I am. It's and that's totally valid, and that's a form of being agender. I like Psycholonial's gender pyramid a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody not nobody. There is a vast majority. The vast majority of people aren't horse gender, to use Psycholonial's terms.
Yeah.
Aren't caring so deeply about their gender that they're like, this is my gender, and I care so much about this, and it's not that many people are. Most people are not that. So really, Jay, you are cisgender, but you're probably more on the agender side than more on the clown gender side than the horse gender side. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Which is just normal and valid and whatever,
Yeah, I just really don't think about it enough for me to really have a preference. I just know I wouldn't get anything out of transitioning,
yeah.
So.
And I think that's where a lot of the transgender stuff comes from. Is it comes from that demographic of people who care a little less about the gender,
Yeah.
Who are like, I don't hate that idea. Maybe that's what I need, It's and that's not really what they should be doing.
It's just not smart to make that decision so fast.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not even their fault because a lot of the cases of it are people who are pushing on them or things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like they tell one person
extreme.
that they think maybe, and all of a sudden it becomes a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's it's certainly a problem that needs to be addressed. But
it's just nice to have these conversations because a lot
important.
of the time, especially with people around here, people won't even have these conversations.
I know.
Because they're either so far in that they won't talk about the possibility of it being like a little much sometimes. Like they won't have a conversation with you sometimes, and other times they're so on the other end that they won't even talk about it because they don't think it's valid or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate living in the South sometimes, and by sometimes I mean most of the time. Plus, I'm not even so far south that I don't have to deal with snow, because I still have to deal with snow.
I know, right?
Fuck snow.
Climate change.
Fuck snow. I'm going to California. I won't have to worry about snow over there.
If I'm going to be in a southern area that's homophobic and transphobic, at least let me not have snow. Come on, man.
Dude, for real. Dude, for real. Like, I'm don't get me wrong. It enrages me, all of this stuff. But, it would be a little bit more bearable if I didn't have to deal with snow. However,
yes.
The non-existent God that people are constantly talking about, that's offensive as fuck. But, I don't know. I'm more agnostic, so I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, no, I'm atheist, so
I just don't care enough about it. Like I just think that it's so like.
Religion is a place, and religious people get a lot out of it. And that's,
exactly.
that's
I'm not religious or anything, but I also don't want to firmly say that I don't know nothing's out there because I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I certainly don't know. I mean, like that's part of it. Is like.
That's the thing. That's why I say agnostic rather than saying like what's the word? Like,
I used to say atheist. I used to say agnostic a lot, and then and actually convinced me otherwise.
That's fair. I'm sure that if I had a better conversation about it, then maybe
I still hold that like I don't know, and theoretically anything's possible. But just from my observations of the world and my thoughts and philosophy, I've come to the label atheist. Sorry. But whatever. I mean, and that's the thing is like nobody really knows. People are some people are religious, and those people get something out of it, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
The problems I have with religion have nothing to do with the faith aspect or the God aspect. Mm-hmm. They have to do with certain cultural norms and justifications for discrimination. Is the biggest issue that I have with religion. And that's just because religion is a form of traditionalism that follows, a scripture from so long ago that, these outdated concepts are still things that people talk about today. And it's like, that's not good. That's not healthy. So religion in a lot of ways is like a lot of religious people are right-wing, for example, the conservatives, the traditionalists, because they share a lot in common, not necessarily in views, although they do, but that's because they correlate in other ways. But religion's traditionalist. It's about things in the past and keeping them that way. And so is conservatism. It's about things, keeping things the way they are, not changing forward progressively. Right-wing conservatism. And there's a lot of religious people who aren't right-wing, and that's great. And those people tend to actually ignore some of the scripture,
Yeah.
There's a lot of, which is great, it's fine.
It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Daredevil, but he's definitely an idea of that, where, like, he's, like his entire existence, he's definitely Catholic, but he's not, like, 100%, like, Catholic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he just uses the label, he does, some of the prayers.
Yeah, exactly.
He puts himself in that community, but doesn't take the scripture so literally that it's more important than anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the thing is it was written by a whole bunch of men, which has been translated many, many times. It is so far, even if God was real, and even if all the histories were real, right, all the stories were real, it would be so far from the Word of God now.
Yeah.
that it would be different, It's
exactly. It's been translated
and that's just a piece of logic, and I don't even think that's I don't think that's I don't think that's even problematic to say. Like I don't think that statement has anything against religion at all. It's like, your Bible is so many years old and it's been translated so many times that we don't really know what the original said. And I'm sure there's a lot of truth in it. There's a lot that had come over, but also there's a lot that might not have been the way it originally was, or was put in because it was the person who wrote that book's agenda. Like, for example, the line about homosexuality, which is almost certainly in place because they wanted to differentiate themselves from the Greeks.
For sure.
From the Romans. From the Romans. From the Romans. Because in Roman culture, like, nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were so many gay people in the Roman times.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very gay time.
Nobody
so the reason, like, I'm quite convinced that the reason that the Bible is against homosexuality is just because, we're not like them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's why.
Definitely.
One guy wrote it was like, God, we don't like the Romans, so let's not do that,
Yeah, my thing is it's been translated so many times too that you could never get the original text anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not. I'm not sitting here like my thing is like it could even be like a clockwork theory thing. That's why I say
exactly.
Like that could possibly be it, where he's just left it. Or
yeah, and that's also possible.
Whatever.
Yeah, all the things are totally possible, and I'm not going to say that they're not. The reason I use the label atheist is really because the existence of God is immaterial to me.
Yeah.
It will not affect, like, if you told me God's real, if you told me God's not real, and for sure, it would not affect the way I live my life.
Yeah, I second that opinion.
So I don't care. In my life, there is no God, regardless of if there is or not. That's why I'm an atheist,
Honestly, fair.
And I live my life that way. I'm going to live this life like there's no afterlife, like there's no reincarnation, like this is all I get. Yeah. And if I get more one way or another, then cool. If not, well, I prepared for it,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of my view. And I think one of the biggest things that religion helps people with is hope and coping with deaths of loved ones.
For sure.
People who are like, well, they're in a better place now, and that's kind of their justification, their way of comforting themselves. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to take that away from anyone.
Yeah.
So I've got my problems with religion, but none of it's like with religious people or the good. And I fully admit there's a lot of good to religion.
The entire thing can be a little whack.
Yeah, it's more the culty nature of religion.
Yeah, exactly. Because it all comes out to being a cult. Every religion is a cult at the end of the day, by definition. Cult
literally just like what differentiates a religion from a cult is members, the amount of members.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the only reason Mormonism isn't recognized as a cult anymore is because they've got enough members to not be recognized as a cult. Like, just to give an example, it's like cults are just religions that have few people in them, relatively.
Exactly.
And that that's why even the word cult is used for like cult classic.
Because so
it's
many
like
people...
this is a classic for this specific niche group of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like a personal religion type thing.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Yeah, I second that opinion. We get so fucking lost in conversation sometimes. Sometimes, like I said,
that was a good one.
Forget. Yeah, I'm not saying that it was a bad conversation. It's just I always notice it. We always get lost, which is fine.
Agreed.
But it just happens. Anyway,
you run Roxy.
I mean, what am I gonna do? Get married and pop out 100 BBs?
No.
Exactly. I mean, once upon a time, I guess I thought about that, but I don't think it's what I really wanted. I just like the idea of me and Dirk making some smart-ass, awesome kids together, because I like the idea of Dirk. And also, literally no one else on the entire planet was alive at the time. We had some babies without even being consulted about it anyway, so whatever.
Your kids are pretty cool.
I know, right?
Personally, I'm a big fan. Oh my god.
Oh god. And like
David
that,
Rose.
Jade's smiling again. The storm clouds pass so quickly in the world, you almost wouldn't have thought there was anything wrong at all. Roxy and Calliope certainly didn't notice, but there's something wrong, and this time they'll notice. Jade drops her tea, the cup hits the floor and shatters. Jade?
Oh boy. This is concerning.
She takes in a sharp breath. She's not feeling well suddenly. She's dizzy, feverish, seeing things beyond her field of... Oh, shit.
What's happening?
Same thing that's happening to Rose.
I guess, but...
Blinding flash of light, a black perfect circle burning a hole in her eyes.
Jade's a space player.
She's seeing the black hole.
Huh.
She tries to
understand. Space, yeah.
She tries to stand, but her knees wobble and knock together. Roxy shoots out of her seat and catches her before she hits the floor. Oh, shit.
Is she okay?
I don't know, get a cloth from the kitchen and some water.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Roxy eases Jade onto the couch and checks her pulse. She doesn't look bad at all. Jade wears unconsciousness well, having spent the better part of her life napping. Roxy slaps her cheeks lightly and says her name, begs her to wake up, but she can't hear it. Jade is somewhere else right now. You think her consciousness zapped to what's happening in the black hole?
But why?
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Jade gasps awake and begins to spiral. Her body vibrates, sending waves of space distortion in all directions, but there's nothing to absorb those distortions. No space, no nothing. She's floating in a void of pure, overwhelming light. She feels it even before she feels the pain from the wound in her chest, the vast emptiness surrounding her, the absolute abyss once known as the furthest ring.
Okay, this is Jade from... This is the other Jade.
Yeah.
This is the Jade from where John is now.
Do you think that our Jade is seeing this version of Jade's consciousness?
That is totally possible. Or it's a bait and switch and they're using this as a
way to flash it. I don't know.
Yeah, as a transition.
Anyway. For a moment, she has the feeling that she's recalling something, images and sounds in her head that resemble memories, but the memories aren't hers exact. Wait.
Did you not? Wait, maybe you didn't.
No, I didn't. The absolute abyss once known as the furthest ring. Okay. That was the last thing I read.
Okay, cool.
They seem to be someone else's. There's an older version of Roxy, someone with a cheerful green skull for a head, who was Roxy's girlfriend. Yeah, this is the one that got into the fucking black hole. Because she's seeing visions of our Jade.
Yeah.
Something about an election? No, this doesn't make any sense at all. The memories are slipping away anyway. Quickly they dissolve and soon they're completely out of her mind's reach. Like she's waking from a dream. Just like that, they're gone. All that's left are the memories belonging to her, along with the dire predicament for which she must claim responsibility. Her friends, Lord English, the great nothingness, the savage wound in her chest, that black hole. She looks away from it, quickly, reflexively, the way you turn away from a light source that's too bright. A hole causes the same kind of discomfort to behold. It's so dark it hurts, yet it calls her. Her hair spills around her like tentacles unfurling. She recoils into a fetal position and runs her fingers along the edge of the shard in her chest. It sends pins and needles under her skin. It's pure, negative potential. The absence of a future, this thing skewering her through right now, and this is the space between breaths, between atoms. She tries to remove it, but has trouble getting a grip on it. It fails to behave like a solid piece of matter, remains lodged within her stubbornly. It hurts, but she won't finish dying. Not just yet. She unfolds, blinking again, the vast empty light around her. Her memories crease as she moves, filling her mind with the knowledge of the last few hours. She's 16, she thinks, trying to orient herself, and she just fought Lord English after being plucked out of a doomed timeline. At least if you can even call what she did fighting. But what was that dream? It was significant. She knows that much. Dave and Karkat? Why did they jump into her mind as a unit? Earth-C? What's Earth-C? Concepts collide, commingle. Two different understandings of her world knit into each other as easily as she takes her next breath. Urgency bleeds off her neural receptors and melts right out of her fingertips. She lets herself float, unmoored, carried along an ebb tide in space that only she can perceive. She wonders if someone else survived. She wants to see John. She didn't notice this moment she turned her gaze back towards the black hole, but now she just couldn't look away if she tried. In slow, hazy spirals, it beckons her. The longer she stares at it, the deeper she peers into the folds of infinite atrophy. Or is it? Yeah, I guess atrophy is how you pronounce it. And the louder it gets. Loud? She only now notices there's sound emanating from it, but not the kind that physical ears can detect. The whole has a voice. One that becomes material the more the expanding black sphere dominates her senses. Jade's wounds throb. She hears the voice fill up the dark space between her ribs. It's calling to her from the center of the death of everything. She kicks off her ruby red slippers and drifts even ever closer.
This is Calliope.
Yep.
At first I was like, oh, red test Dave? How's Dave? But it's Calliope.
Come.
Because yeah. You want me to But yeah, this is the Calliope that we saw that used red text and was from the reality where she beat Caliborn.
Yeah.
And was the version of Calliope that destroyed the green sun and turned into a black hole.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And this is the exact same version of Calliope that will later, according to my theory, inhabit this Jade's body and go to Candy.
I love the fact that all it says is come. You know, like I know I'm like 17, but I'm literally 17, so I can make that joke. Come jokes, am I right?
Sure.
Anyway, titties, all that shit. I don't know. Titties is a fun word. I think I've said that before. What the fuck?
Okay.
Forget I said that. Jade leans into her accelerating descent. She listens for another command, but the whole is seemingly said all at will. She considers again asking who is speaking, but her mouth stays shut, powerless against the forces transfixing her. Jade has no way of knowing who this voice belongs to. She has no context for understanding the true nature of this being, what role she had played in bringing about the end, and how long she has been waiting for this. She has no idea, but I do. The dead cherub is making her move. We should get the fuck out of here. Let's see what Dave's up to, okay?
Oh my god. Oh, Karkat! Karkat! Hell yeah.
Just the fucking transition, motherfucker. Did you see that? The fuck just happened?
That was amazing.
Let's just go see what the fuck Dave's up to. I'm done with this shit. This is really what would happen if I ended up narrating a story, man.
I love this.
I'd be like, I'm fucking bored, man. Let's go move on to something else.
Oh my god. I'm tired of this plot. Let's start a new one.
Dude, for
we'll get
real.
Back to this one later,
like,
maybe.
we all know that if I went back to writing, like I did in, like, 8th grade, it would jump around plot-wise so much that I don't think anyone would understand what's going on, including myself. So...
Of course.
Am I being Dave, Karkat, and Dirk? What do you want to do here? Do you want Dave?
That's a good question.
Do you want Dave, or do you want me to do it all myself? Because I'm willing to do it all myself.
I'll take Dave.
That's what I thought.
Because I know you like Karkat, and the orange text is basically
you'll
Dirk,
have
which is
Kanaya
Dave.
in the future too.
Yeah,
a lot of Kanaya.
Cool. Dave and Kanaya, and once Kanaya starts talking, Dave stops talking. So we're pretty much good.
Pretty much. Oh my god, it's
Holy
my
shit,
boy.
that's disgusting.
Oh my god, it's my boy. Look at him. Look at him.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but I get such a childlike sense of joy when I get to read my favorite character.
Karkat is so good.
Karkat is the best character in Homestuck.
Because of you, Karkat has become a better character to me, like than I would otherwise have thought. You know, like Karkat's a great character, but like because of you, he's elevated even more.
Why? Because of how hype I get whenever he's around.
Yeah, because of your hype, your enthusiasm, and your voice, all of it. It makes me like Karkat even more.
Don't be a fucking xenophobe. I love him. I love him so much.
I'm not being a xenophobe.
Karkat doesn't respond immediately. He shuffles his feet to the edge of the outcropping. They're standing on and stares down at the brood pit, where the mother grub of Earthsea is squelching out unfertilized jelly.
Dude, you know I'm not a xenophobe.
No answer. This silence makes Dave actually back up for 3 seconds and think about what the hell just came out of his mouth. He's worried that maybe he said something wrong here. That he was being horribly insensitive inside a place that probably holy ground for the few alternative-born trolls left alive. Maybe flippant xenophobia isn't the best look in front of you for an alien pseudo-boyfriend when it comes to jamming about the irreconcilable biological differences between your species. Wait, no, I was about to say that's Dave admitting that, but that's not Dave admitting that, that's Dirk admitting that.
It's Dirk telling Dave that he needs to admit that.
Dave could definitely be handling this situation with a certain measure of restraint or grace, but he's got my genes, so he decides to handle it a different way than that.
I mean, that's what this whole lecture thing's about, having your back when it comes to this reproductive issue. Well, that and the economy. Let's not lose total sight of the economy in this critical discussion.
Oh, son of
But
a
I'm
bitch.
almost as passionate about this troll speciesism thing as I am about the economy, which you may not have known is my number one issue. My wheelhouse, you could say, but my other wheelhouse is like giving a fuck about your feelings and culture and shit.
Karkat still doesn't answer. He's staring real intently at the jelly.
Dude, hey, Karkat. Yo, Karkat, you listening?
Hey, dipshit, shut up for a minute. I'm not ignoring you because I'm mad.
What? Then wasn't what I...
I know that you perish like a delicate lilac bloom in the fucking desert if not shower with my verbal attention at all times. But I'm kind of witnessing the birth of my entire fucking species right here. You even think that this might be a monumental moment for me? That I might be awestruck at the pure majesty of the sight?
Oh my god.
Dave comes to the edge of the outcropping, standing shoulder to shoulder with Karkat as he too observes the majesty of translucent goo getting birthed out of an alien asshole. Karkat's got a strange expression on his face, cast half in shadow and half in orange light. Dave winces as the grub's nasty slime Slime shoot sputters on a bunch of air bubbles. It's a gross gurgling fart that goes on basically forever.
Yeah, but it's totally disgusting, right?
I can't fucking believe you. What part of this is disgusting? Is the slow deflating of its distended abdomen? The sound of dozens of segmented legs cracking against its exoskeleton? The unfertilized slurry being slowly squeezed from its ovipositional sphincter? Is that it? Is that disgusting to you, Dave?
Kind of.
You're right. It's horrible. To be completely honest, I would have gladly gone the rest of my wretched existence without ever seeing this.
Human birth is also disgusting, don't worry. It's like when you squish the toothpaste down in the middle, only the tube is filled with fetus juice. I'm sorry, but I can hear you from down here. Did you want to talk to me, or are you intent on performing an impromptu and very unfunny comedy act on my front step? Oh, hey, Kanaya.
Dave grabs Karkat by the wrist of his oversized sweater, and they skid down the narrow walkway into the mouth of the crater. Is it bad that I actually started wearing sweaters?
Well, sweaters are good.
Yeah, sweaters are dope. But, like, how much more like Karkat can I get here, motherfucker? Like, am I about to grow horns or some shit?
Skin turns gray.
I really hope not. Because people already think I'm pale as it is. But then
Jay, you need to cosplay Karkat one day.
You think so?
Yeah.
If you have the makeup when I'm up there, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that. We'll plan a time to go to a convention and then...
Yeah, for sure. We'll go to a whole-ass convention and we'll run around and maybe we'll get recognized again.
Yeah. Exactly.
God, I still can't believe certain people read
Shout-outs to Poji.
I can't believe certain people read their fucking Karkats in my voice sometimes. It's crazy to me. It's fucking wild.
I love it.
God, I love it so much. And they skid down the narrow walkway into the mouth of the crater. Kanaya steps out from beneath the canopy where she is doing grub science, wiping her hands on silk cloth. Weird science! Sorry. She's glowing. Her skin, I mean. Her mood can be politely described as pensive. Still, she smiles at the sight of old friends.
What's shaking, sis? Must you always call me that? Nah, but it does feel pretty rad to say. Like, wow, my sister-in-law is an alien. How cool is that? I love a awesome planet where everyone is free to form to feel like family units without fear or government interference or reprisal, which is a totally smooth segue into the topic at hand.
That wasn't smooth at all. In fact, I don't think it would be possible for you to raise the subject we've come to talk about in a more ostentatiously awful and awkward way. Just because you did that stupid little... Here, Karkat pauses to imitate a very common Davism that involves two hands and double wrist swivel. It's an incredibly good imitation because that sees this particular bit of body language like 10 times a day. Motion with your hands doesn't make it smooth.
No, see, the reason it's smooth is because I was the one who did it. I got inherent smoothness, and it's a quality that transfers to everything I say and do. Also, that thing I do with my hands isn't stupid, it's cool.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You do it like 10 times a day. What even is it supposed to be?
I'm dropping a beat, like I'm using a turntable or scratching one song onto another, all smooth and shit.
Looks like you're trying to fold laundry you forgot to iron.
Dude, you've never once in your life ironed a shirt.
I'm familiar with the basic mechanics of your Earth customs, Dave.
Okay, ironing is definitely not Earth culture. I've seen Kanaya iron like a whole bunch of shirts. Yo, Kanaya, back me up in here, sis.
Kanaya regards them with a thin-lipped smile that is equal measures patronizing and fond.
So this is about the election.
Ah, yes, you've already heard? Kanaya holds up her phone.
I do get the internet down here. I am impressed that you managed to be seen in front of that many people without spontaneously bursting into flames.
Well, thanks. Another vote of confidence from one of my dearest friends. This condescension is really rich coming from the person who decided her narcissistic obsession with being the one to hatch the mother grub was more important than not seeding our planet with a stopgap system of reproduction that would cause systemic speciesism to ossify in society for 5,000 years.
Karkat, hey. This again?
Yes, this again! Fuck!
Karkat, buddy, remember the game plan here. We want to get Kanaya on our side and not alienate her completely. Karkat, I acknowledge that there have been consequences to the decisions we made regarding the foundation of the society that were not foreseen or ideal, but I do not think it is productive to attribute these resultant troubles to a single decision or individual. It stands in the way of our efforts to address them. Shh! You know as well as I do that we must present a united front. Please do not misinterpret my tone. I have nothing but the utmost faith in you.
Kanaya reaches out to put a hand on Karkat's head. He doesn't duck away in time, and she gives him an affectionate matronly hair ruffle between his horns. She keeps her hand there and pulls him a step closer so that she can speak softly to him. Her voice travels high in the empty cavern, but her tone is tender and private.
While I know that it is difficult for you to take a direct compliment, I have in the past put my faith in you when the threat to our survival has been immediate and literal. It's basically nothing to ask me to do it again now that the threat is far more.
Kanaya pauses here, choosing her words more carefully than usual. She takes her hand off Karkat's head and puts 2 fingers to her lips. Karkat's eyes follow the motion, wide and bright as dollar coins.
Existential is how I think I shall put it, if we are going to be polite. You are up on all the issues, then?
Kanaya sighs and starts making her way around the edge of the brood pit.
How could I not be when it concerns me so directly?
Directly. Fuck, where'd it go?
Near the top of the screen.
There it is.
The second
she lifts up the hem of her skirt and jumps in. Dave is watching her, but Karkat's looking contemplatively at his entwined hands. Kanaya's right. It's almost excruciating for him to take a completely unironic compliment, especially face like she was just said to him. I understand this about Karkat. It's one of the precious few things he and I have in common. We internalize and project the quality in very, very different ways, however, which is why I'm going to win.
Dirk. I'm so scared. Dirk is so frightening. Jane has been here to speak with me recently, in fact. No fucking way. She was quite cordial, as always. You know I do like Jane. In some regards, she reminds me of a friend we had, who sadly did not survive her time in the meteor. She was unfailingly kind to everyone she met, but also happened to be the heiress to the throne of a vast and bloody empire.
Fairy.
And while she had a lot of opinions on reform, she had already wrenched some of her power from our last empire in the traditional manner.
Karkat finally looks up at the description of one of their many dead friends. Kanaya carefully steps between the puddles of brood jelly and approaches the mother grub. She rests an ear against the rise of its massive stomach and then taps the shell with 2 perfectly manicured fingernails.
By which I mean that Jane is perfectly pleasant, and I believe that she has only the best of intentions, but I can't shake the feeling that deep inside her lurks the potential for despotism.
Okay, I get why you guys keep calling Jane a crypto-fascist, but fucking for fairy, she was harmless.
These things take time to gestate, Karkat. Damn. Power corrupts in small steps. Compromises, concessions, appeasements, and leaders follow the example set for them. Look at what Jane has modeled herself after already. I do believe it is important to consider precedent.
When Kanaya is satisfied by whatever she hears churning inside the grotesque insides of the giant bug, she comes back up to the lip of the pit and hoists herself out.
This is why I trust you, Karkat, because you listen to advice from below and beside you, not from above. And if Dave is with you, I trust you not to isolate yourself, as you have in the past. Sweet. So we got your endorsement then?
She laughs, not kindly.
Jane offered me a seat on the board of responsible troll reproduction.
What the fuck? How dare she?
That is exactly what I said, with more tact, of course. I do understand the trepidation considering what the history books teach about Alternia.
Oh, like human history is a fucking walk in the recreation sprawl. How hypocritical can she be?
I think it's recreation, probably. Like park, recreation
sprawl. Yeah.
It's a park. Fucking walk in the park. Yes, in case you can't tell, I'm absolutely fucking furious about this.
She couldn't pick a more subtle word than responsible. She's not even trying to mask her xenophobia. It's like she has no fucking respect for us.
It is entirely thoughtless on her part. Our reproduction method is an alien and unfamiliar. To a human, it must sound monstrous, uncontrolled even.
Well, of course. When I hear about how human grubs chew their way out of the female mate's for its abdominal hole before consuming the womb membrane, it makes me want to vomit. You don't see me proposing fucking political policy based on that.
Dude, that's not how pregnancy works.
Dave, you might not have noticed, but we're not talking about humans right now.
Yes, Dave, check your privilege. Okay. Okay. I love
it. Yes, Dave, check your privilege. Anyways, we need to expose her bullshit immediately. I don't see how any troll can vote for her if they hear what she's planning.
I have a feeling that it would sway many non-trolls to our campaign as well. I hope that there is at least one principle we share as a planet, which is that we must all work to ensure equal dignity and respect for every species. Otherwise, what was this all for?
The three of them stare at the floor in adorably cartoonish synchronicity. Synchronicity? Yeah. What was all this for, indeed? That's a good question. Morality is a cultural construct. It's pure ego for any of them to believe that their personal interpretation of it will result in the most effective laws.
You know, that might be the magic ticket folks need to hear to wake up about this issue. Would you be willing to say that exactly, but like in front of a huge crowd and also a television crew or 6?
Or maybe just in front of Jake English?
No, dear, as Jane recruited Jake, that would be disastrous. He's beloved in the Troll Kingdom for his perky ass. Seriously?
I told you, it's not just me.
It has some terrible arcane power. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, that's me. Well, she doesn't have him yet, but Jane is one of his best friends. We gotta approach this with a scorched earth policy. Give him a whole cater of sob stories that'll make him feel all manly and heroic for lending his support. Just gift wrapping babies for him to kiss.
Troll babies, even?
Sure, that can be part of the deal. He can kiss the first natural born grub right on its gooey little head.
While giving double pistols and a wink to the camera, no doubt.
Bam. That's your re-election billboard right there.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Of course not, but this definitely has potential. Have you spoken to Rose yet?
That's a good question,
that's
babe.
me. God damn it. I keep seeing the red, I'm like, that's you. Okay. No, I mean, she's...
Dave Malliam's playing down and taking pills. The look Kanaya gives him is neither fond nor patronizing.
What's up with that anyway? Are you guys, grub pregnant?
Kanaya keeps staring. Dave, what the fuck?
No. It's okay if you are, we won't tell. No.
Don't you dare drag me into this grave you're digging for yourself.
Come on, Karkat. I want to be an uncle to a little bundle of love and unnatural genetic tampering. No.
What even goes on inside your head that you just produce this endless, gushing spate of atrocious word garbage every day?
This is fantastic.
I love it.
Okay, stop freaking out. I'm just saying, from what I understand of troll production, it would technically be possible for a troll and human to... No. And with ectobiology, anything is possible. Oh, anything is possible.
Oh my god.
Karkat. Whatever put you on this unfathomable trait of thought? I don't know, it's just unusual for Rose to brush me off for our annual ecto-sibling oversharing session. She's been sick for a while. Either she's pregnant or I got reasons to be worried.
Kanaya turns her head and bites her lip. Her thin fingers clutch at the hem of her shirt. She starts flickering a little, like a light bulb in a heavy storm. The mood in the here is just all over the place. Dave senses how uncomfortable he's made everything. Cranks up the irreverence in his tone. When you put a foot in your mouth, if shoving it all the way through your intestines and pulling it out your ass is a valid tactic, he seems to believe.
It'd be cool. I'd be cool to, bring on the Rosemary combo grubs. Yeah! Rosemary's their ship name. Literally.
Yeah.
Rosemary. Yeah, like Rose plus your last name, which is Marion or something, right? Miriam. Yeah, that. Ergo, Rosemary. I hate it. The Rosemary babies would have her hair and your horns or whatever, like when two cartoon animals of different species give in to their lusts and just have preposterous children. Fucking adorbs. I'm gonna call my wife and you're going to stop talking.
I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh my god. Her thumb is anxiously tapping on her wife's name in her contacts list. She walks briskly to the other side of the cave for privacy, pulling the curtain of her makeshift lab shut. As the other side of the cavern, Dave and Karkat bicker about what their combo kits would look like in the event that they decided to stop being such laughable wusses and began fornicating like two cartoon animals of different species who have given it into their lust. The day
that doesn't sound like Dave and Karkat.
And the day hell freezes over, and maybe their kids could even play in the snow. Kanaya puts her phone to one ear and her hand to the
Dirk
other.
ships him too.
I love it. Rose's line rings for a long time. It's unusual, she thinks. Rose rarely leaves her phone unattended. Personally, I don't think it's odd, because I'm currently watching Rose lying unconscious on my workshop floor. I'm guessing Kanaya is going to be pretty surprised when it's not her wife who picks up, but she'll have to deal with it because I'm the one holding the phone. And Rose is in absolutely no condition to be having a conversation with anyone, not even her cherished bride. Hey, sorry, but Rose can't come to the phone right now. Kanaya's voice turns sharp right away.
Excuse me?
She can sense that something's wrong. She's also smart enough and facile enough in handling questionable men to understand that she quickly needs to regulate the tone of her voice for diplomatic purposes.
Dirk, is that you?
I don't answer immediately. I'm distracted by something. She really should chill out anyway. I've got everything under control, and not she'll ever be able to fully appreciate this.
Dirk, why are you with Rose? What is going on?
I don't have to explain right now. John's doing something vaguely important to the plot again. I don't have to explain this right now. John's doing something vaguely important to the plot again.
Dirk, what?
This is gonna have to wait.
Dirk.
I'm putting you on hold, okay?
Dirk! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The self-awareness of it all is beautiful. Just the son of a bitch being like, sorry, John's doing something vaguely important to the plot. I can't do anything about it. Sorry. And Kanaya like, you son of a bitch. And then just fucking hangs up. You've been drifting so long that you've lost the ability to objectively judge time or length or distance. It's getting hard to think about yourself as an objectively limited being. The boundaries of your skin begins to thin and disappear. What is it that makes an individual an individual? Was something wrong?
No? What?
You said wait, and I just wanted to see if there was anything you needed to say.
Oh, I don't remember saying wait, but I don't know.
I thought I heard it. I might be a fucking idiot. Is it the physical space we occupy? The electric sparks that sizzle through our brain flesh. If your perception expands beyond the meat sack of your body, then you're really an individual. Are you really an individual anymore? Why shouldn't we become gods? Why shouldn't we become one god? You scrunch up your nerdy face and furrow an eyebrow. It seems you aren't enjoying this train of thought.
Why am I even thinking about this bullshit?
Sorry, dude. That's what's on my mind right now. I'm having a phenomenological debate in my third year that's way more poppin' than your little hero's journey into the belly of a quarter-life crisis. Turns out you don't have time to worry about the voice inside your head because you hear one outside of it. At first, you don't think it's real. You think it must be an oral mirage. Then it calls you the fuck out. Do you want me to be Mina or do you want Mina?
Oh, you can be Mina.
Yo, blue guy, get the shell down here. You roll around upside down. You look then down. There she is. She's clinging to a random server beacon, looking a little the worse for wear, but still grinning. You float on down to greet her.
Thank God, I was beginning to think that no one else was alive.
I'm not alive.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm glad to see you is what I meant to say.
Same, I fucking guess. She narrows her blank eyes, her mouth twists into a frown. Not quite a concerned one, but close enough you'll take it. I gotta say, damn boy, you look like shit.
Damn boy, you look like shit. Yeah, I know. I suffered a mortal wound, and then I threw up on myself. Other than that, I'm okay, though.
Waterboat Lord English, he bite the bullet or what?
Yeah, he's pretty fucking dead.
Well, there's that at least.
Oh boy.
There's definitely that at least. You both stare at each other for a pretty long time and let it sink in. It's a hell of a fact, no doubt, but aside from reaching verbal agreement on certain basic points of fact, you both realize you're pretty much out of material. You were kind of hoping you'd discover a survivor you could have an actual conversation with. Not that you aren't glad to see Mina, but you don't know her, and she's not who you were really looking for. That reminds you.
Hey, me fish Christ? Oh, Christ.
Me fish?
No, I know that's not your name. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
It's Mina.
Right, Mina. Have you by any chance seen Jade around?
Who the fuck is Jade? This is without a doubt one of the worst conversations you've had in many, many years. And you aren't just thinking that because I'm telling you are.
Well, she's... I don't know, I mean, really? You don't know Jade?
Why the fuck you suppose I'm tight with some random-ass hoe?
Jade's like a big deal. I thought you were kind of important too.
You don't even know my name, dog. Why would I know some random ass hoe? They're called women, Mina. Jesus. You've never been accused of having seller people reading skills, but even you can tell. Even you can tell the look on her face says it all right now.
Wait a minute. Do you even know my name? This is a two-way street, you know.
Nah.
Now what? So like you don't know it?
Like joke something?
No, it's John, and Joke is my biological... father. I mean Jake. Jake is his name, damn it.
Halfway through this exchange, Mina pulls out a small clamshell-shaped accessory kit and begins to file her nails. She almost dislocates her jaw by yawning the moment you mention Jake.
Alright, we're veering off course. Jade is my sister. I think she'll still be out here somewhere. Have you seen her?
Nah, man. Your entire body deflates. This is going nowhere. It turns out me-fish is fucking useless. You decide to do her as well as yourself the favor, completely ruling out the possibility of eliciting any valuable information from this person. You exhale and let some stuff off your chest.
Man, I just didn't expect everything to go to shit so fast.
That's how the shit always go.
Yeah, I guess. So, never mind, Jade. Have you seen any other survivors? Like, anyone at all?
Nope. I ain't moved from this floating trunk-looking piece of shit since I got my base kicked. Bass kicked.
Because ass. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. Bass because it's fish.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Not bass because, bass.
Bass like guitar, sorry.
Well, you're the first I've seen too.
Oh. There's another awkward silence. You spend most of it looking at your feet until something occurs to you.
So, what's the plan now?
Plan?
Yeah, you just gonna hang around here in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing forever?
That's what most ghosts is doing, and that's what ghosts is most good at, ain't they?
You don't have to stay here. I can take you back with me to my planet. I mean, after we're done looking for some more survivors.
Mina stares at you for an uncomfortably long time. She looks you up and down like she's making certain calculations. On the one hand, spending infinity clinging to a fridge-like space computer circling a black hole sounds like a drag. On the other hand, will her coolness and street cred be able to survive any prolonged association with this dumb blue nerd? That's what she could be thinking, you think. You hope not, though. Because if true, it would hurt your self-esteem. She finally appears to make up her mind. Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
So, question. Okay. Okay. So, revising my theory about the connection to candy.
Mm-hmm.
Mina's still here. Jade's still here.
Mm-hmm.
Who else fell? Vriska fell. And we don't know what happened to Vriska yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's possible that she didn't go through the black hole yet. I think the black hole is just a black hole and killed everyone first, and then whatever the fuck Callie does changes it into a portal.
Yeah.
By kind of using it to take Jade to Candy.
And all these people
and in
are
doing so,
up...
opens the portal for everyone else. So anybody who's still around, like Mina, is going to end up going through the portal, and I assume Vriska is still along using that logic.
Didn't Mina end up on their world anywhere? Was it Mina or was it Vriska? Or it was
Mina. Well, Vriska and Mina both. But Mina was in Candy. She became Karkat's like advisor, like second in command.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that now. I just couldn't remember
for the military. Yeah. So because Mina's still here, and everyone else went through the black hole, like Lord English, for example, and Lord English didn't show up before Mina. That's revising my theory, and I'm thinking that the black hole did just kill these people, but Callie does something with Jade, because I believe Callie showed up first, before anybody else did.
Yeah,
Callie and Jade showed up. Callie showed up first, and I think whatever she does, opens the floodgates basically.
Yep, pretty much.
And then everyone else around ends up going.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my revised theory. And also one more thing. Actually, the next couple. I read like 2 lines ahead. Let me just continue. We'll continue through this, and then I'll say what I'm saying.
Nah.
Why not?
Okay, for one thing, genius, I'm dead. I won't even last on your planet. I'll just, like, fade away or some shit. I don't know what happens
gave
to
John
ghosts
the
in
ring
real
of life.
places, actually, but I'm gonna guess it goes something like that.
The beginning of Meet, Callie gave John the ring of life, said he'd need it.
Yep.
John has the ring of life.
Yep.
Mina being alive and going to Candy is probably where the ring of life came in.
Yep.
Oh yeah, whoops, I forgot.
Anyway, while you was floating there, I came up with my own plan.
What is it?
Come here, gonna whisper it to you.
Okay.
You lean in rather credulously and bring your ear toward her cupped hand. Nerd. You pull back, unamused by the prank. What is this, you think? Fucking amateur hour? Real cute you want to be my savior, blue boy, but the fact is you already helped me out. Get everything I need from you. Got everything I need from you. See you around, sucker.
She just stole the ring of life.
She's laughing her ass off before you can react. She jams the button down her beacon and opens the server. She jumps into the hatch and the door snaps closed behind her. Oh shit, I think I know what just happened. You might want to check your pockets.
Wait a minute.
You fruitlessly fumble around in your front hoodie pocket.
Wait a fucking minute.
Sure enough, it's missing. The ring of life you stole back from Morania has been restolen.
Oh, boy.
Bitch just picked your pocket. You got played, man.
Wait, am I wrong about something?
No, I don't think so.
Did Callie not give John the Ring of Life? Did she just tell him to, or they, but did they just tell him to steal it from Ariah?
Yeah, he stole it from Ariah.
Yeah.
That was the first action he made whenever we started meet.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. Yeah, Callie told John to steal it from Ariah in the past. That's what happened. It was part of the thing that Callie and Roxy sent John on the mission. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Still, I knew John had the Ring of Life.
Yep.
All right. Did I say fuck already? Fuck. Oh, back to this.
Yep.
Why are you with Rose? What is going on?
Why would you think something was going on? By which I mean, why would you automatically assume what's going on has a sinister overtone?
Did I say that I suspected something sinister was going on?
Not with your words, no, but in the grand scheme of things, isn't something always going on? Why would you even ask what is going on if you didn't assume that the thing going on was both abnormal and untoward?
Well, now I definitely think that something sinister is going on because you are obviously trying to distract me with semantics.
A tactic I'm sure you're familiar with.
Excuse me?
I'm just making an observation. You know your wife pretty well. You know all of her tricks, all her little personality quirks. You're confident that you know everything about her, but for some reason you have no idea where she is right now.
What are you getting at?
Nothing, just making sure we both have a clear view of the situation, laying out the playing field as it were.
Okay, I am going to give you another chance. Why don't we start this conversation over again and you can say the correct thing this time?
Sure.
Hello, excuse me, but I would like to speak with my wife, Rose, whose phone I do believe I am calling. And even these primitive human smartphones have acceptably accurate caller ID technology.
Sorry, Rose, can't come to the phone right now. She is otherwise occupied.
Where is she?
She's at my place.
I'm sorry, what? Rose is extremely ill and should not be leaving the house alone. What is she doing at your place?
Chillaxing whilst we discuss the inevitable heat death of the universe and the unknowable solitary nature of a human consciousness.
I see. If she's capable of such abstract polemics, why is it that she cannot speak with me?
That's a damn good question, one that will undoubtedly benefit from further exploration over the course of the next abstract polemic I have with her. Yes, I admit, I'm just fucking with her at this point, but can you blame me when she's making it so easy? Kanaya loves Rose, but sometimes love just isn't enough. Sometimes what you need is understanding.
You are testing my patience sorely, Dirk.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at that. Just ask my fans.
I'm not making a joke.
Me neither. I don't really do jokes.
Neither do I.
I do often make statements which hold varying degrees of irony, or acerbic wit, or dry expressions of amusement.
Yes, that roughly describes many of the remarks I make as well.
I knew you'd understand.
However, my commiseration on this matter should not be mistaken for a gesture of friendship or camaraderie at this moment.
Then it seems we're at an impasse.
It won't be an impasse for very long. I'm coming over immediately to retrieve my wife.
If that's what you want.
Tell her I'm on my way.
Sure, I'll get right on that. I hang up on her. Rose looks up from where she's suffering on the floor as shadows around her are growing. She stares at me with glassy eyes.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, just a telemarketer. You know how those carapacians can be when they want to sell you some chest shit? Impossible to get get them off the phone.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
Ariah, it's so dumb, but I love it.
It's agreed.
God, dude, just the instant switch. Like, this is so much fun. And then moves on to the next fucking page as if nothing happened.
Hell yeah.
Server Mina fled through a distant speck now. You look back and can't even see it anymore. In fact, you're not even sure you're looking in the right direction. You're utterly adrift, continuing your lazy orbit around the black hole. Only thing you are sure of is the fact that your ring of life is freshly pilfered from your not-so-fresh-looking hoodie. It doesn't really bother you, though. It's not like you had any plans for it. Taking it from Ariah was like a bonus as far as you were concerned. Extra life ring? Nice. Maybe it'll become in handy someday. Scratch that now. The unconscious has it, and is probably hatching whole new plans as we speak. Not that those plans will ever have anything to do with you. Hours and hours slip by. Your eyes start to hurt, and the wound in your chest starts feeling numb. It's a disconcerting combination of sensations. After a while, you think about tending to your wound. There must be something in your dad's wallet that you could use to bandage the gash. You eye the wallet and try to imagine what could possibly be inside it. Would it be any use on would it be of any use on a medical basis? A straight razor? You'd probably fuck yourself up even more if you tried to perform surgery. You notice you can't even make yourself care about healing yourself long enough to continue entertaining ways to MacGyver your body back to health using nothing but the contents of a wallet belonging to a middle-aged, shaving, obsessed pipe enthusiast. You put the wallet back in your pocket. A glint of red catches your eye. Just ahead, then it's gone. No, there it is again. Another glint. It's flickering or sparkling in some way. What is that? That's Terezi's sunglasses.
Oh my god.
You drift towards it without urgency, worried that it's exactly what you think it might be. You get close. Enough to confirm. 2 small red slippers coated in tiny gemstones. No, those are Jade's shoes.
Oh, yep.
Jade's empty shoes are a depressing sight, but you feel a sense of duty to retrieve them. Might as well. You secure them in the wall along with whatever other junk is in there. Your wound is starting to throb again. You can hear your blood in your ears. The rush of your pulse is so loud that it almost sounds like the engine of a rocket sputtering to a stop. Wait, it sounds exactly like the engine of a rocket sputtering to a stop. It can't be. It's impossible, you think. But why would it be impossible? Isn't it what you think we're out here... Yeah, well, isn't this what you were out here looking for, even if you couldn't admit it to yourself? What's the point in denying it now? You turn around. There she is. Okay, there's Terezi. With her flaming red rocket wings. She hovers in place, looking for not a whole lot different from when you last saw her years ago. Her arms are crossed over her chest, making knife-like angles where her elbows shut out. She's giving you a look of absolute disregard. The expression of exasperation is so performative and habitual. It sends bolts of aching nostalgia and fondness through your heart. Dumbly, you raise your hand to give her a dorky little wave. It does not adequately communicate whatever it is you're feeling right now, but then nothing would, you suppose. She waves back, but hearing her voice is what makes it real.
Hey, loser. Oh my god, Terezi. This is the same Terezi from Candy, by the way.
It is.
Because she's over by the dream bubble, and that's where she was when John was talking to her. So this is the same character in both universes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it?
We get more Rose and Dirk. This is going to be great.
Jesus Christ.
Customarily, we speak in favorable terms about getting to know each other as people. Humans, I doubt trolls are as fixated on this concept as one that is widely understood to have preconceived merit. The more we learn about each other, the more the barriers between us fall and the closer we become. And since birth, this idea is stationed in the part of each human mind that is perfectly immune to the dangers of challenge or scrutiny. To go closer, to know each other, is what it means to embrace our mutual humanity. What it means to be vulnerable, what it means to realize an intimacy implied as a form of divine birthright, and to question this in any way is to succumb to dysfunction, to pathological insularity, to sociological sin. It is to renounce humanity itself, is it not?
Yo, hold on a sec. This shit is dynamite, I promise. Gotta take care of something. Rose's phone is ringing, and I know I'm in for an encore on my last dead-end conversation with Kanaya, so I block her number. I'd like to be able to attend to Rose in peace. It's only cordial for me to give the greater percentage of my attention to someone I actually invited over. The nagging wife can hold her horses. Rose isn't speaking to me directly. She's been relocated to somewhere in the workshop a little more comfortable than the fucking floor. There's a serviceable couch along the far wall, placed there for visitors, but never once used for the purpose until now. I cleared off the space parts and circuit boards that were piled up there, and laid her down in the recline position she's in now. Her head is in her hands again, hair falling over her shoulders, her face is entirely hidden from me. Her shadow has faded to light behind her, assuming the shape of a rose-like apparition, and I nod to her, and she continues. When she speaks, it's almost as if it's the apparition that's doing the talking. But is it really a good... Oh, sorry.
But is it really a good idea to know a person, know them inside and out so thoroughly that no secrets remain? If two people were to know each other in such a complete way, what remains of their individuality?
If you're going there, we might as well start at the bottom and define what an individual even is.
Oh, dear God.
I placed my hand on my chin and broadcast the appearance of being deeply pensive about philosophy all of a sudden. She gulps hard, broadcasting her grim realization that I have indeed become serious as shit about this. Literally any kind of intellectual problem would pour out of my mouth any second. She's not prepared. For all she knows, I'm about to start quoting Kierkegaard.
Please don't start quoting Kierkegaard.
Kierkegaard. You've never even read Kierkegaard, have you?
Like you have.
Hey, where I come from, Wikipedia is a venerated literary resource, so if I told you I boned the hell up on his pages, you gotta believe me. And that's not meant as, like, a punchline or anything. I'm really, really well read, dude.
But there were only two human beings alive where you
Wikipedia.
came from. Who exactly were the academic cognoscenti of your era to determine which sources were deemed respectable?
That would be me, obviously.
Okay.
I suppose you're gonna tell me you haven't read enough Wikipedia articles on loads of scholarly shit to fancy yourself an elite academic by 25th century standards as well?
No, I guess I have. I'd be one of the top intellectuals by that measure. A measure set by, I guess, literally one solitary self-absorbed teen boy for the express purpose of making himself feel clever.
Absolutely correct.
Pretty astounding when you think about it,
What?
that apparently in any given era the standard for depth of intellectual mastery is inversely proportional to the depth of the ocean really makes you think.
Does it?
No.
It's one hell of an observation regardless, considering we've firmly established the fact that we've both read the entire Wikipedia page on self-determinism, like possibly more than once even. Let's have a totally amateur debate on philosophy. Hit me with the classics. I'll go first. God is dead.
That is a good one. Careful where you say that. You could really ruffle some feathers out there. I love it. I love it.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure why I find
just
that so funny.
They're just stating philosophical, things.
I mean, it's true, though.
They're not even debating, they're just stating them.
Quick thing, though. How could somebody be dead if they weren't there in the first place?
Oh. Okay.
Oh, shit. Drop the mic. I'm out. I'm not a fucking idiot. I keep my potent rhetorical weapons of pure logic safely holstered at all times. You go.
I think, therefore I am.
I think, therefore I am. That's a Billie Eilish song. It's really good.
Rene Descartes was wrong about everything else, but this one statement was good.
Solid. Check it out, though. The Hegelian dialectic on history.
Holy shit, I'm not sure I can keep up with this. How about subjectivity is truth?
Wrong but valid. Try this on for a fucking size. Late 19th century existential phenomenology presupposes that free will is a thing.
I don't think I bookmarked that page. Can't you back up there?
But what if there's no free will?
I can't back you up there. You didn't put that in quotes. In this hackneyed reference, or are you... Sorry, is this a hackneyed reference, or are you actually just riffing now?
I'm riffing.
I see, asking the hard questions. It's about time someone had the balls to.
Yeah, I've always been underappreciated for my brutal intellectual honesty, even when I was living alone in the middle of the ocean, if you can believe it.
I think free will is a thing, sure.
Are you sure about that? Haven't we spent the entire day having feelings jam on how none of us got here by accident? Our lives are meticulously planned from cloneception up to this very post-canon moment we find ourselves riffing and about the very free will we probably don't even have. Don't you think it's all a little too convenient?
This seriously is just a conversation between two stone people right now. The bad kind, where neither one even gets to be high.
Seriously, Rose, do you think that you have free will? Stand up. She tries to stand up, but I haven't narratively allowed it yet. Her hands don't even move. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god.
Sorry, just like the fact that he has that much power now.
Yeah.
I haven't narratively allowed it. She tenses, then relaxes into the couch again, giving up on the attempt. She attributes it to exhaustion, an all-encompassing sense of weakness due to her condition. Of course, she has been weakened by her condition, and thus she suspects nothing. Never mind, you shouldn't be moving around much in your condition, remember? I'll sit. I sit beside her and cross my legs casually. It's all done in one fluid motion in a way that serves as a seamless transition between the points I'm making. Like a magician asking the volunteer to hold his handkerchief as he continued his verbal misdirection uninterrupted. It's done deftly enough that she doesn't notice how close I end up sitting to her. To be honest, I don't even notice myself until I've done it. I continue speaking and she remains rapt, but now even I can't help but wonder where I'm going with this. Logically speaking, individuality is a collection of processes and properties, interrelation to matter and experience all bundled together. Your experiences and processes don't want to be bundled together anymore. A moment goes by and she's quiet, perhaps puzzling over what I said. Then I remember I haven't narratively permitted a response. I'm forgetting myself like a fool, distracted by the surprise my own actions have caused me. I resolve to stay focused, remain in control. I let her speak.
I don't understand.
You do, though. We've been talking about it, but using different concepts. Your ultimate self, that which is revealed when the mind's partitions are stripped away and all potentiality of who you are and what you could have been flow together. Those are the experiences and processes that are refusing to stay bundled, and that's what your body can't endure. The unbundling itself is your mind coming apart. Because you're not as strong as me, not yet, but you can be. I'm working on that. But for now, I'm focused on stabilizing you with my own expanding consciousness. It's enveloping you now, in a way you can't see, keeping your thoughts solid, your identity anchored to your physical form as it strains to hold itself together. You can't see it, that's what I'm talking about, but I can help you. I can help you see what I see, if only for a little while. All you have to do is open your eyes. Maybe what you see will help you through this. Is that what you'd like, Rose? Her eyes are shut, her look of concentration speaking the migraine she must be fighting now. Small beads of sweat appear on her forehead. She won't respond, and not because I haven't allowed it. Rose, stop being a fucking martyr and open your eyes. Rose opens her eyes, not her physical eyes. She opens the others easily, internally, beholding a field of perception elsewhere entirely. They see what I want her to see. That which quietly desires to be seen. She loses track of my voice, which begins to mingle with the words. I offer my
with these
hand.
Words.
Huh?
With these words. Like what he's saying now.
Which begins to mingle with these words. I offer my hand. My physical hand. Without opening her physical eyes, she lifts her hand from her lap and places it in mine. Put my other hand on top of hers and wait as she drifts beyond the torments of her unbundling mind. My words feel like her own intimate thoughts, my distant voice in the room at the same time. Open your eyes wider. What do you see? We're not in my workshop anymore. Physically, yes, we're still here. But on a higher textual plane, we've been pulled back from that, from Earthsea itself. Rose takes a shuddering breath and runs an invisible pair of hands afforded by a new sight over the narrative whole cloth and begins smoothing out the wrinkles.
I see. John.
Doing exactly what you told him to, like a good boy. What's there to be upset about? You knew this was how it was supposed to go down.
He could have made another choice.
Then where would he be? Well, where would we be? No, that wasn't a rhetorical question. If John if John couldn't have could have made another choice, then you can see what it is. If it can happen, then it's been written. If it's been written, you can read it right now.
I don't know if I want to see.
There's no free will, and there's no regret either. Look harder. She looks harder. I'm not going to describe what she sees. First of all, that would be spoiling it, unless you already know, in which case I guess what's taking place here qualifies as something closer to dramatic irony. But if you're willing to see it for yourself, stop what you're doing, flip the whole thing over, and begin again. I'll be right here when you get back, waiting, trust me. No one's going anywhere. So what do you think?
Oh my god. The book is like, hey, you want to go read Candy?
No, you can just skip that over to Candy and then come straight back.
I did hear people say that there was a point in the comic, or the point in the book, that they basically told the readers, or baited the readers into switching. I assume this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go ahead. Did you say anything already?
So what do you think?
It's difficult to say. I suppose there are negatives and positives. I can't say if that option would be any better or worse than we're experiencing now. Whichever way our fate unravels, there's too much of something. Too much blood, too much sugar. I almost can't see through it. It's as if our extra-canon reality, our surroundings, our actions and their consequences, they've all lost the ability to blend the ingredients responsibly. You know what I mean?
It's almost as if it's so sweet because it's candy. Oh shit. Yes.
As if the moment we entered the victory state, everything began to slowly congeal. And when John made his decision, it accelerated the process. The congealing intensified, causing a sort of grotesque conceptual clumping, concentrating the constitute properties of consumption to unbearable doses, like when you get to the bottom of a sweet drink and all that's left is syrup.
It's growing dark around her again. The apparition she's been projecting behind her fades, and she starts to bleed light and shadow in all directions. Her physical eyes are open now and shining bright. It's a striking sight. She's beautiful, actually. Diaphanous and disheveled and filled with the limitless light of metaspiritual curiosity. But for all the effervescent mysticism of her otherworldly becoming, I feel like this is the very first time I'm truly seeing her for what she's always been to me. She's my daughter in every sense of the word. My equal, my mirror.
Holy shit, this is fantastic. And Jay, I just want to quickly side note back to the end of Candy. Do you remember the postscript at all?
Yes.
And how it was completely unrelated to everything else?
Yes.
It was Dirk and Rosebot.
Yep. What's gonna happen to Rose here?
Well, okay, so a couple things. One, Rose's condition might be fatal. and Dirk might offer an alternative in a robot. We know that's possible because that happened to Dave at the end of Candy. Obama offered Dave a robot.
Don't we all love... We all love Obama. Obama's the
so
best
Dave became
Homestuck
Davebot in Candy. And we did not get to see anybody's reaction to it, but Dave became Davebot at the end of Candy. And then we saw Dirk and Rosebot. So I assume Dirk has the power to create... I assume Dirk created Rosebot in order to keep her alive, in some sense of the word. Hold on. Let me just go to that postscript really quick.
Okay. If you send me the page, then I can go to it.
It's Candy 41 here. There.
Cool.
I'm gonna scroll to the very end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more discuss. She taps a button. Powerful brain race. Are
my fucking pantaloons ready yet? I love that shit.
Yeah, well, near the end, her heart doesn't beat any faster because its pace is regulated by an internal chip. Yep. She consciously accelerates anyway. It's been a long time since she felt this. She missed all the flesh ticker, blah, blah, blah. Thoughts of brains.
So she turned into a robot rather than...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. She used to... way up... above that, it says, she enters a room central to the ship, one that she visits now and then, possibly for sentimental reasons, or maybe it's just to creep herself out. Situated near the wall is something that looks like a rather elegantly designed iron lung. It's mostly made of glass with polished silver trim around the sides and base. Mm-hmm. There's a digital monitor on the wall. She approaches and places her hands in the glass with a faint metal click. She used to live in this body. She's dressed in the same clothes she was wearing the day she slipped into a coma. A special tiara replaces her typical hairband, aligned with blinking transmitters. The device beams her awareness directly into her current mechanical avatar. She presumes it utilizes the same technology that Jade's grandfather once used to build a dream bot for her, which functions similarly. Mm-hmm. She knows she'll never be able to inhabit the sleeping body again. She honestly can't decide whether that makes her feel sad or relieved. She ponders the future of her old body. Will it work as planned? She has to believe it will. It is the only path to achieve permanence for these tenuous bodily accommodations. So Rose gets worse.
Yeah.
Goes into a coma. Dirk creates Rosebot. And they're just... My God, this Rose-Dirk thing is crazy. This is totally an easy thing for Rose to slip into, is working with Dirk for this plot.
Pretty much.
Wow. Rose is the bad guy's, sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. All right, where were we? Sorry.
It used to be odd to consider it a technical fact I accepted as a genetic reality, but nothing that could ever quite penetrate down to the soul. But in this moment, it doesn't feel strange at all. It feels right suddenly, and I know she must feel the same way. There's no way she doesn't. All she needs is a nudge in the right direction. We're family. We belong together, and after years of micromanaging the inconsistent and the confused desires of total imbeciles, wouldn't it be a relief to have someone by my side who understood me? You're almost there. All your eyes are open, Rose. Now all you need to do is take a step off the precipice. It'll be a long fall, but I'll catch you.
But what if the person you catch isn't me anymore?
Who gives a fuck? She'll be better.
Oh boy.
That's kind of a dickish way of saying that. And right there is the moment she lets go. She uncouples herself from the creaking, buckling partitions of her physical mind, and her consciousness dissolves into a space more vast, a domain given structure and order by my words and conviction. She's permitted the barriers between us to fall, to allow us to know each other more perfectly, as she was saying before. To resist this, to question it in any way would be to succumb to dysfunction, to pathological insularity, to sociological sin. Would it not be to renounce humanity itself? Yet, ironically, renouncing your humanity is exactly what we have arguably just done. Good riddance, I say. Her body should be dead now, but I'm holding it together until I can implement the more permanent solution I have in mind. This is where Rosebot comes in.
Yeah.
All in due time for now.
This is going to end with her slipping into a coma.
For now, what is there to do but savor this moment, to appreciate her final waking minutes as being of flesh and blood? She turns and the light from her eyes is blinding. It dims a bit as she lowers her eyelids. She regards me with an almost unbearably bright adoration. The kind that's difficult to look at directly, but you can't manage to look away either. It's like the first time you see the green sun. Of course it is, because that's the way I'm describing it. The truth belongs to me, and as of now, so does she.
I can't imagine reading this without seeing Candy.
Yeah, I agree.
Without seeing the ending, it's like, what the fuck is going on? I see it now. You're right.
Have I ever not been?
A
wrinkle in her brow, it smooths out quickly. She murmurs to herself, trailing off quietly.
What time is it?
A step forward and steady her hand firm but gentle against her cheek. That's all she needs is a stable anchor. Rose, does time even exist? You already know the answer.
Holy shit.
Jade kicks her shoeless feet behind her slowly as if she's swimming with the current of the gravitational waves pulling her
back to this.
Ever closer to the source. Her feet aren't completely bare, they're still covered by her gray striped witch stockings, but the ruby slippers are gone. She kicked them off hours ago as if to jettison all the hope of returning anywhere resembling a place she used to call home. The fond remembrance of such a place no longer has any pull on her. Now something else entirely is pulling her. Believe me, I'm sympathetic to the temptation. It's always just there, isn't it? A limitless reservoir of emptiness, perfectly available to you. Patient, omnipresent, and dead ahead as someone who grew up in the middle of an ocean, completely alone on a planet purged of all human life 400 years before I was born. I understand the feeling well, but something isn't right here. She should really consider whatever it is she may be about to do. There's something about being alone for so long. It makes me feel like it doesn't exist. She knows this almost better than I do. Jade also knows well enough by now that time doesn't actually exist in a literal sense, the way we generally understand it. It's just one aspect of many, the complement of her own space. It therefore can be neutralized by the introduction of her essence, reduced to white noise or soft light. The continuum of time is therefore demonstrably an illusion, the field of sequential moments and physical conditions that stretch on, resulting in the mirage of loneliness. Is pure projection from disproportionate attention given to a single side of cosmic polar pair of ideas, time. It's my way of saying and thereby alerting her mind so that she already knows that this feeling of all-consuming solitude and despair haunting her since childhood. It's in her head. The ticking of time is a little contrivance in her mind. It's a byproduct of imbalance of the vast disparity between her limited self and her ultimate self. It lives rent-free there the way Dave once did. And for the version of Jade, probably still does. He made fun of her sometimes when they were kids because she couldn't always keep real and fake things straight, but he never meant it seriously. It was just the way he showed that he cared, which is one of the things Jade always liked so much about him, that he's so clumsy and genuine underneath it all. Maybe Dave broke her heart a little bit, and he keeps doing it too, no matter how many different timelines they try out. She slips closer to the event horizon, still making no effort to impede her descent. My perception skills are admittedly a little rusty. Bear with me. In my experience, there's something about being alone that can take a person's limited meat engine and make it imagine that it can see beyond the confines of its own electrical processes. Make it believe that it's ascending to a place where it can see the four dimensions spread out beneath like a set of windows, like sheet music, like a garden, where Jade used to spend so much of her time with her hands in the earth and her head in the clouds, dreaming about flowers that bloomed in 6 colors and grew when she played them a song. Was that real? It's hard to tell, but it made her happy, didn't it? Isn't that what she needs now? Isn't it reasonable to presume there's only one thing capable of persuading her to slow her descent to being invited to imagine, fake or otherwise, the which once made her happy? That which could still make her happy if only she'd slow down, think about it, and do whatever is necessary to place herself in those surroundings again. It's possible that manning the other end of a suicide hotline transmitted through pure thought in a metatextual format may not actually be true calling. I'm doing my goddamned best here. She just isn't slowing down for some incomprehensible reason. Perhaps my touch is too soft. It won't be the first time. Perhaps the limit of persuasion itself are being tested by the most powerful gravitational force to ever exist. Or perhaps it's true that that instance is just the
insistence.
It's true that insistence is the most effective half of persuasion. So I'm insisting now. Jade Harley will not go into that hole. She does not want us to all see what happens when she unsettles the spirit residing there.
Dirk is trying desperately to convince Jade not to do that.
Yeah.
And as we know, she does. So and of course, Callie, as Jade, is the one who warned everyone about Dirk. So this is going to be a battle. She does, though.
Fucking yikes. Jade throws on the brakes. I say she does, but by now the gravity is overwhelming. Is she even trying to resist, or is it just that it's useless to try? I'm not sure I can tell. Jade realizes preferably before it's too late that this is a fucking serious. She needs to turn this around. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want to die.
She wants to return to me.
Alright, I'm done messing around. Your name is Jade Harley. You decide right now that you do not want to die. You resist the pull of the black hole with all your might. What would killing yourself accomplish? Sure, most of your friends are dead, but John is still looking for you. Do you want to let him down? Do you want to crush his soul? Do you have any appreciation for what he's going through, Jade? He can take you home to your new home, Earth C, the home I made for you, Jade. Your friends are all there, alive and well. Rose, Dave, Karkat, slutty adult Jade, Jane, Jake, Roxy, me. You wouldn't want to disappoint them. You wouldn't want to disappoint me, would you, Jade? You can avoid all this. The predictable consequences about to be unleashed by your thoughtless act. You can still turn this thing around. It's not too late.
I don't know how to feel about what Dirk's saying.
I second that opinion.
Because, like, she is killing herself. As we know from Candy, like, Callie takes her body.
But the way he's going about it.
Yeah, and I think the reason he's doing it is because he knows that this would be bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
But it is too late.
Christ. You're close now to the ceiling of the cancerous deformity. The too close, just skimming the edge of the thing's vicious horizon. You dip your toes to the place where the singularity is snapping everything apart at the seam. It's so loud that it's completely silent. You can already feel yourself stretched thin, distorted, pulled out with your descent elongated for all eternity. When you look down, the stripes of your witchy tights go on and on for miles. Please, Jade, don't ever say I didn't try to stop this.
She closes her eyes and lets go. This is so intense.
Yeah, this is a lie.
Oh my god. And then she opens her eyes. Not the Jade who returned to me, the Jade living on Earth's sea, sleeping on a couch.
Is this what we're doing now?
She snaps awake. Her human hands are clammy. Her face expressive through the layers of flesh enveloping her skull, appears haunted to her friends.
OMG, Jade, you okay? Callie, hurry, she's waking up.
John, Rose, is Dave, what happened to...
Yo, it's cool. It's okay. Dave's cool. Rose is cool. Everyone's just straight chilling like usual. I see how it is. You don't even intend to acknowledge me. Real fucking mature. You're gonna force the issue of this little meta-narrative tug-of-war between us. The least you can do is establish a clear adversarial dichotomy between our opposing goals.
This is so well written. Holy shit.
I'm having fun.
This is so like dramatic. I don't know. That's not even the right word. It's so immersive.
Yeah, for sure.
Jade stares straight ahead, feeling the weight of Roxy's arms around her shoulders. She derives no warmth from the interaction. Her mind is being flooded by the memories of her deceased splinter self, the chaos of battle, the excruciating impalement, the feeling of floating alone through the void. A chill spreads through her body. She will never be the same again.
Actually, you know what? I think Jade's doing just fine. She's wobbly when she gets up off the couch, sure, a little metaphysically stunned, but pretty used to the sensation of having a doomed self fold into the extra space in her gray matter. You know, considering it's already happened before, remember Jade Sprite? People always forget about Jade Sprite, so maybe we could stand to dial down the melodrama just a bit.
When Jade turns to look at Roxy, her eyes are completely black.
Well, what the actual Are you in there, Jade?
Jade does not answer. The dead cherub scans her surroundings, expression neutral. For the sake of clarity, the dead cherub is a phrase I am using in reference to myself. Presently, I inhabit... Oh, shit. They just killed this Jade, too.
They did.
This Jade somehow makes her way to Candy. Oh, boy. Presently, I inhabit Jade's body, and through her, I may influence this world. I am enabled to convey events which take place here, and therefore confine the procession of causality to exist within a secure textual framework. Or does Dirk find a way to banish her to the other reality? My presence shall mitigate, if not altogether subdue, the corrosive effect on reality and the will of its occupants by those who would manipulate the way events are telegraphed for their own megalomaniacal objectives.
Okay, now you're just being passive-aggressive.
Despite his pretensions to a greater design, the Prince of Heart cannot be allowed to continue to exert unchecked control over the authoritative recitation of events on this side of my horizon. It cannot be overstated the extent of which he represents a threat to continued existence of both this world and corporeal life itself.
Damn, you better watch with those hot takes. You might mildly scald someone with observations this fresh.
The Prince uselessly squirms and wails in protest as his imminent narrative impotence, however... at his imminent narrative impotence. However, there's nothing he can do so long as Jade remains in this trance.
Nah, I'm being chill as a cucumber about this, considering you're vague blogging the shit out of my methodological approach to storytelling right here where I can see it, which is to say directly into my fucking brain, apparently.
Calliope emerges from the kitchen carrying a bowl of cool water and a cloth. Jade turns her head to meet the sound of their footsteps. I came back as fast as I could. The bowl of water clatters to the floor. Calliope does not have human flesh, and thus cannot go pale. What drains from them is not color, but the comforting certainty of their very existence. They can sense the presence of their other self in Jade's body. Their timeline, fruitful, full of life and friends, sparks against mine, desolate, endless, Spartan with righteousness and resolve. Our divergent arcs collide in the primary of their subconscious, bringing to the forefront of their mind the bleak fate they avoided by narrative fiat alone. Calliope's distress is obvious. Roxy slides off the couch to approach them, but Calliope stumbles backward in terror and trips in their desperation to escape. Roxy gapes at them.
Hey, Callie, what's going on? Calliope is okay, just talk to me.
Calliope does not talk to them. Roxy looks to Calliope, then to Jade, sensing there is a dark energy coursing between them.
Why don't you just effing say something already?
Finally, Calliope lets out a shriek and flees the apartment. Roxy appears as if they intended to run after them, but finds themselves drawn back to Jade. They return to the couch as an unnerved look begins to disturb their features. Jade says nothing. She gives no indication that I inhabit her body, aside from the unusual appearance of her eyes. Anchoring myself here, in this host, is enough to serve my purpose. There is no need to operate this body beyond keeping it in reserve as a silent yet alert vessel for my cognizance. There are other priorities that I must attend to cosmologically. The work is very important. The prince must be kept at bay. So Jade's not dead.
Mm-mm.
Hold on, Jade's not dead. And I don't think neither is the Jade and Candy.
Mm-mm.
I think the dead cherub, to distinguish from Calliope, the dead cherub is inhabiting both this Jade, and that Jade's going to find, because that Jade's the teen version, and they described the Calliope, Jade, and Candy as the teen version.
Mm-hmm.
So that Jade is going to make their way to Candy the same way that I already talked about. And Calliope is going to be inhabiting both bodies in order to keep Dirk at bay. And that's the way that she's fighting them.
Pretty much.
Okay. Go ahead.
The work? Getting some pretty self-important vibes here. Like, maybe somebody needs to get over herself. I was just having a little fun. Ever fucking hear that, dead school girl? Didn't think so. This all feels really heavy-handed suddenly. Like you're making a federal fucking issue out of what would be some light, entertaining stuff. There's a bunch of loser adults trying to be the people they grew up to be in the best ways they know how. But no, I guess you know best, being an impossibly ancient alien recluse with virtually no exposure to human culture, emotion, or values. Yeah, go ahead, just take over. Sounds fine.
The prince finds that his hold on the narrative slipping through his hands. There's an old myth in Earth culture about katanas, that if you keep the blade wetted to a mere sheen, it can cut a silk scarf falling through the air cleanly in two. His hold over our perceptions shall be severed just as elegantly.
Yo, I get that you're attempting to spin a metaphor both relevant and specific to my self-made symbology here, and I appreciate the effort. I really do. But I just cannot stand by and let you shamelessly spread such irresponsible misinformation on a subject so near and dear to my heart. The katana is a cutting weapon. It's harmless. Deceptively so, you might even say. Most dangerous things appear banal when that's just basic physics. It's actually the motion of the katana that makes...
Roxy sets the cool cloth on Jade's forehead and frowns. They are worried and confused, but determined to care for their friend.
Hey, I'm in the middle of turning you apocryphal. I'm in the middle of turning your apocryphal metaphor into something with substantive allegorical weight. I'd appreciate if you would.
I love how nonchalant, how Dirk's just like not fine with it, but like acting fine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In his haste to manipulate the events surrounding doomed Jade's ascent towards an outcome favorable to himself, the prince has unwittingly revealed several glaring weaknesses. By dictating the reality of others through expressions which he and he alone can relate to, he resorts to comparing all experience to his own, presuming his status on this side of my horizon would forever go unchallenged. His hubris went unchecked. He exposed too much of himself to all who could observe his wanton display of self-gratification. Many of his personal biases and experiences have leaked through the seams of textual causality, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation by an adversary. Experiences such as the sensation presiding over a vast empty ocean, his ocean, which terminates with his horizon, it is a barrier, not real, but psychological, symbolic. No matter how much power he achieves as a man, he knows there are horizons he perceived as a boy which he may never cross. And yet I have crossed mine, with the express purpose of perpetually and eternally reminding him of his limits, and of enforcing them. Limits which, like his vast empty ocean, serve to remind him that he is phenomenologically, if not literally, alone. That he has experienced loneliness intimately and absolutely, just like I have. But unlike me, he is terrified by it, and I, unlike him, understand all too well that the children left alone are those who are most desperate at being ignored.
fuck you, I fucking hate you, you're fucking boring, your narrative voice is a total fucking drag, and someday I'm going to fucking make you pay for this.
There. Can you hear it? Of course you can't. But if even you could, it would sound like nothing at all.
Shit.
Oh boy. Hell yeah.
Shit.
And that is where we're stopping for today.
Damn. Holy shit. I'm going...
That was incredible.
That was a lot.
That was so good.
I love the arguments that they're having narratively.
I know. They're like narrative tug of war, as I've said.
I love him at the end just being
Holy
like, fuck you, I
shit.
fucking hate you, you're fucking boring, your narrative voice is a total fucking drag, and someday I'm going to make you pay for this.
So good.
Sounds like a Scooby-Doo
Oh my
villain.
god. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for your meddling kids.
If it wasn't for your meddling narrative voice.
Yes. Holy shit, man. That is a place to leave off. And it looks like next time we've got more and more dead cherub narrative, which is
As always.
exciting. Oh boy.
What's my outro?
I don't remember. Do you remember?
Mm-mm. Alright, all you beautiful Val people, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Homestuck. We appreciate it a lot. I'm trying to remember what I always say, but I am drawing blanks.
Something about ringing the bell for notifications and subscribing and liking and stuff like that? I don't know.
Subscribe if you, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, post notifications if you want to see what we're doing next. Join the
There you
Discord, there's some really cool people there, and they would really like to talk to you, on, not including me, obviously. You're all pretty shitty, to be honest. Sorry, I'm turning into Dirk as we speak. Follow the Twitter if you want to see me throw out a random thought every, month or so, sometimes longer. Follow the TikTok if you want to see Ariah do something with it for the first time in, 20 years.
Probably once we start uploading, I'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. Once we come back, we can say that we're actually consistent and shit.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much for watching. We appreciate it quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
All.
I hope you guys
Bye.
have a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.